this great service experience. This is a whole new philosophy that is being considered by, as you said, 18% have already adopted it. 29% of restaurant operators plan to adopt this no-tip policy, and it's really an answer to increase in hourly wages and overtime compensation for restaurant employees, as well as other factors like increased food costs, rent costs. Just the cost of doing business is going up for this industry.
All right, but what is it they hope to accomplish, I guess, by getting rid of tips? I mean, that's not something that comes out of their pocket. It doesn't require them to pay their waiters or waitresses anymore. How exactly is the tip hurting them?
So the tip is not necessarily hurting the restaurateur at all. What's hurting the restaurateur is that the waiters and waitresses, as well as the talent in the kitchen, they are being mandated to pay these folks more. And not to say that they don't deserve more, but the restaurateurs have to find a way to ultimately pay them more while also enhancing the service experience and keeping a restaurant operating successfully, keeping their customers happy. And so rather than, for instance, when we go in, it's customary. We have a great service experience. We leave 15%, 20% or more. And so ultimately what these restaurateurs are doing is they are raising the cost of their menu by on the upwards of 20% or more, and essentially taking that tip compensation or the gratuity compensation that you usually give on your own and including that as a service charge, and then they are distributing that in the form of higher hourly wages and compensation for their entire staff. And so it's an answer to bridging the gap between tipped and non-tipped employees in the restaurant.
So pretty much it rewards those that kind of slack off and maybe don't give top-notch service because they're going to get the built-in 20% anyway.
So that's what the restaurateur has to focus on. Ultimately, it would be a shame to adopt this model and to allow this service-driven industry to suffer. And so it has to come down to the hospitality and to the service experience, in addition to maintaining high-quality food and just an overall great experience for the consumer. So ultimately, the consumer at the end of the day is not as empowered, and so the perception may be that the service experience could fail. But we are seeing this adopted more at this point. Some of the higher-end restaurants, particularly in the Northeast, are adopting this policy where all across the country we've seen this before, where an 18% gratuity could be added to a large party, or you could do a price fix menu to try a new restaurant during your city's restaurant week. So this philosophy has been adopted before, but for a la carte, fast casual, it may be a tougher sell for the consumer.
My thought would be that, many waiters, waitresses, bartenders, etc., take those kind of jobs because, where they really make their coin is the tip. And they can do quite a bit better, on tips than they're ever going to make on a salary at a restaurant. Even if you were to pay, a really good waitress or a really good bartender an extra 10%, it's still not going to make up for what they're going to lose in a good Friday night or Saturday night in tips. I've known waiters and waitresses that have scored well over $100 a night in tips. And you can't tell me that your average restaurant is going to pony up an extra $100 a day to have them work.
Absolutely. And so that is, that's the million-dollar question here is what is it going to do for overall service? What is it going to do for turnover? Ultimately, this is not a policy that's being mandated by everybody. So the server and the consumer will ultimately, at the end of the day, have a decision as to do they want to dine in this kind of establishment? Do they want to work in this kind of establishment? But some of the restaurateurs that are implementing this policy are testing it by providing a minimum pay compensation, saying, hey, you're used to making this much. We're going to guarantee that as we're rolling this model out that you will make no less than that. They're also operating revenue share opportunities. So as the collective team meets goals for the restaurant, they are essentially allowing these folks to bonus. So the model is, hey, you go into a fancy shoe store, and your sales professional goes back and forth 5 times to find the right pair of shoes. No matter if they go 5 times, 1 time, you like the shoe, you don't like the shoe, you pay the same amount of money, and the compensation comes from that high-end store. It's the same philosophy that the service experience is packaged in now into one price versus an additional cost of service in the form of compensation, by gratuity. So it is a full shift in the way that the industry could be operating. It's a change in the way that we will forever dine. And, it's happening, but it's yet to be seen if this will be successful.
All right. Gina, we appreciate you calling us on the Wake Up Call.
I appreciate you having me on. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Actually, we have one final question.
Just one final question, because you're a consultant. I was just curious what you found with your clients as far as restaurants that don't work in 2016. I mean, it's probably such an open-ended question, but what do you find is the biggest reasons restaurants, even a good restaurant, doesn't make it?
I think at the end of the day, it comes down to operations and margins. Your processes have to work. Your operations have to be buttoned up, and you have to know your margins. And so ultimately, you have to operate like a business. And, I think at the end of the day, the consumer expects a certain level of experience, and you have to listen to what your customers want. Listening to your market data at the end of the day is super important. And so ultimately, this whole conversation comes together by the service experience. And I think listening to your customer and buttoning up your operations and having a great service experience at the end of the day, and just having something unique and knowing who you are and marketing yourself as such. There's a lot of moving pieces to making a restaurant work. That's why so many fail. And, it's not an easy industry.
Good enough. Thank you so much for the time. Gina Lynn, a restaurant consultant, on with the Wake Up Call. 6:36, Rita Coolidge coming up next.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. First, the miserly number of jobs created in May. Now we find productivity in the U.S. is down by more than 0.5% during the first quarter. But that's actually not as bad as the initial estimate, when it had fallen by a full 1%. Looking under the hood, there was an increase in labor costs. They rose to 4.5%, and that suggests workers are getting a bigger boost in pay than previously assumed. Stock futures are holding on to some pared back gains. S&P futures up 2, NASDAQ futures gaining 4, Dow futures up 29. Verizon has decided Yahoo's core internet assets are worth $3 billion. That's the amount people familiar with the situation tell the Wall Street Journal. Verizon will bid for Yahoo. Verizon is seen as the most likely to win the quest to take over the company. This is just the second round of bidding, with one more to go. The German maker of Mercedes-Benz cars is cutting jobs in North America. Daimler also makes Freightliner trucks in the U.S. and Mexico. More than 1,200 jobs will be lost. I'm Joan Doniger, Bloomberg Radio.
Make sure you check out SM Gun Shop before you buy at a big box store. SM Gun Shop takes trades, and they have a large selection of quality used firearms with competitive pricing. SM Gun Shop on River Road in Eugene, serving Lane County's gun enthusiasts since 1980.
Get set to save now at Mid-Valley Tractor, your local Kubota dealer. Take command of your lawn care needs with a new Kubota Commander zero-turn mower. Get commercial-grade performance and a full 4-year factory warranty at a price you can afford. Now during the Get Set to Save sales event, get a special introductory price of $38.99 and 0 down and 0% financing for 36 months. Now through June 30, 2016. Call toll-free 1-800-794-4992 for details about cost and terms. Great prices, great products from people you can trust. Mid-Valley Tractor on Highway 99.
Are you putting your money into an IRA, pension, or 401k? Then I hope you're prepared to lose 30, 40, 50% or more of your retirement savings, because it's not a question of if the market crashes again. It's a question of when. It's going to happen. Did you know there is a way you can protect and grow your wealth safely and predictably every single year? The people using this approach didn't lose a penny when the market crashed in 2000 or 2008, and they won't lose a penny in the next crash. In fact, their money will continue to grow safely year in and year out, even when stocks, real estate, and other investments tumble. A free report detailing this savings program is now available. This free report shows how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and wealth-building power without risking your retirement in the Wall Street casino. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement. It far outperforms any IRA or 401k. To get this free report, visit bankonyourself.com. That's bankonyourself.com. Bankonyourself.com.
You would never forget your home address, would you? Well, no need to forget ours. Just lock it in at 1120 on your AM radio band. Depend on us. News Radio 1120 KPNW. KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. You're headed out that door in the next few minutes. We've got partly cloudy skies, a little bit of light haze fog out there, but not as thick as yesterday. Temps right now in the mid-50s to a couple of low 60s, with light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. This afternoon, we'll see the partly cloudy skies become mostly sunny, but this is probably the end of the sunshine as we're tracking multiple weak storm systems headed this way. Highs this afternoon will be back into the mid-80s with a few low 90s out there, but we should finally be able to avoid most of the area seeing any triple digits. Winds will shift northwest and go to 10 to 15 with a few gusts up to 20 late in the afternoon. We'll start to see a few isolated chances of showers starting as early as Wednesday, carrying into the weekend as two different cold front and storm systems start to approach the area. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
I'm a firefighter.
A teacher.
I'm a farmer.
I'm a barber.
A waitress.
A mom.
We're all part of your community. Every day we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good,
others not so much.
But that's life. It's when you experience a moment of uncertainty, something or someone's behavior that doesn't seem quite right.
These are the moments to take a pause.
Because if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not.
It's not about paranoia
or being afraid.
It's about standing up and protecting our communities.
One detail at a time.
Because a lot of little details can become a pattern.
We
trust our instincts.
Just like you should.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
There's a lot of things out there that we don't understand. It doesn't mean that they don't exist. And that's why I just love your program.
Kind of a messy job. Hey, somebody's got to do it, right? I'm George Norrie.
George Norrie on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Do you dance badly or hug in public? That's okay. You don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit adoptuskids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Okay, ready?
Holloway in London.
Okay.
And the Wake Up Call.
I've got good news.
News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Love is lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before.
The book is called Delta Lady, a memoir about the life and times of Rita Coolidge. Michael Walker helped out with the writing of the book, the famous Michael Walker, published by HarperCollins. Rita joining us now on the Wake Up Call. Rita, good morning. Welcome in.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on your show this morning, Rob.
Absolutely. I think a good starting spot is to kind of pick up where talk about your early upbringing with your adoring parents and your best friend of a sister, and I guess you got to have to put a horrific car crash in there because that seemed pretty instrumental in the book. Talk about the beginning.
Well, as you just mentioned, my parents were probably the greatest people I ever knew, and I lost them in 2012, and they were, I think, for my whole life, the people that I loved more than anybody on this earth. My father was a Baptist preacher, and mother was a school teacher, and they raised, there were 4 children in our family, and Mother gave us the music. We sang all the time. She played piano in church and always had a music program in her schools. And It was just a great, I think most of all, they gave me such a good, solid foundation to eventually, be in the music business, because it's kind of a rough life. And I think without them, I would not have made it, and certainly I wouldn't still be doing it.
Sure.
So I give them all the credit.
Talking to Rita Coolidge, throughout your life you were exposed to, I mean, the names in the names in the book are huge. I mean, everybody that is anybody in the music industry was in this book. One whose interaction with you that I thought was extremely interesting, a least likely mentor, was Sammy Davis Jr. Talk about Sammy Davis's his influence on you.
I'm having a hard time hearing you. I think you said Sammy Davis Jr.?
Yeah. Can you not hear us?
You know what? I think for many years I remember vividly that just kind of making fun of Sammy Davis Jr., and I thought he was just kind of full of it. And I was in New York at a gala for an AIDS benefit with Dionne Warwick and Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. and all these great people were there doing this concert. And Sammy came over and sat down next to me and just kind of started talking to me. And he said, "Well, what's going on with you?" And I said, "Well, I've left my record company and I don't know what I'm doing now." And he said, "Well, what you need to do is learn about your craft, learn about singing. You don't need a record to drive that." He said, that's where young people get so mixed up these days. He said, "I haven't made a record in 15 years. He said, "and I sing all the time." And it just really struck me right between the eyes, that there was so much truth in what he was saying. And suddenly it wasn't so important to me to make another record. It became vitally important to me to really learn my craft and become a performer and to be comfortable on that stage without a record driving me. And he became a very good friend of mine. I loved him.
Talking to Rita Coolidge, there is some heady and honest stuff in this book. Definitely felt like there were some things that had been bottled up. What were the reasons that you felt, the need or the calling to write this book?
Well, I've been asked for many years to write a book. I mentioned it in the book that my drummer, because I tell stories from the stage every night, and my drummer, who's been with me for about 17 years, he said, "You need to write a book. You need to write this stuff down. You need to write a book." And eventually, he just wore me down. And it came at a time when people were starting to approach me that were actually publishers to write a book, and it took me about 3 years to do the book with Michael, and it was kind of scary in a sense to reveal so much about oneself, but I'm really glad that I did write the book, and I think that I hopefully have straightened out some things and made an interesting read for people who decide to read the book. It seems to be it's being very well received.
You talk about Chris, you talk about Eric Clapton, you talk about some folks in there. I'm curious, were there any responses after the book came out and maybe somebody handed that person the book and they had a chance to read it? Any responses after the book came out?
Well, I haven't had, not really. Graham Nash read the book before the book came out, because Graham and I have remained friends, and I wanted him to read it and see what he thought about it. And Graham loved the book, and that made me happy. And Bonnie Bramlett, I sent Bonnie a book, and Bonnie loved the book. She just said, "Thanks for telling the truth, Rita, about everything." She said, "I've been so demonized all of my life because nobody ever believed that Delaney was as abusive as he was." And she said, "You set the record straight with me and my kids, and thank you. Hope I can do the same thing when I write my book." So, that kind of feedback has been great. I haven't heard anything from Eric Clapton's camp. I haven't heard from anybody else, really. So I think I'm good.
Speaking of which, you mentioned Eric Clapton. You started off being a singer with a number of different people, Delaney Bonnie and Friends, Eric Clapton, Joe Cocker. I mean, the list is huge. As you were doing that, was the expectation, okay, this is what I'm going to do the rest of my life, or did you figure at one point or another, I'll catch my break, I'll have that hit, I'll make it big?
I don't think that I was ever thinking about having a hit record when I was in the business, because I was so young. I graduated from Florida State and gone to Memphis to kind of break into the record business, and as it turned out, I recorded a single in Memphis with a company that I sang jingles for, and they formed a record label. And when I came to California in 1968, literally while I was driving cross country with Leon, this record became a regional hit in, I think, Los Angeles and 2 or 3 other cities in the country. And so when I got to LA, I had a #1 record. So that was my starting place of having a hit single without ever really trying. And from there, I think that it became very important to me to just kind of learn how to be a background singer and to kind of get my foot in that door, and which I did. I was contracting sessions sometimes 12, 14 hours a day. And at the same time being on the road with Delaney and Bonnie and Joe Cocker and all those people. And at the end of Mad Dogs and Englishmen, A&M Records signed me. But I think that I wanted to be a recording artist. I never ever thought about what it would be like to have another hit record, because I kind of started with one. But I think I did feel like that my life was going to be music. I did know that.
Book is called Delta Lady, a memoir. Rita Coolidge on the Wake Up Call. Rita, thanks so much, and continued success. Good luck with the book.
Thank you so much, Rob.
Get up here to Eugene. Rita Coolidge on the Wake Up Call at 6:51 on KPNW.
For the all-new John Deere riding mowers, tractors, and side-by-sides, think Ramsey Waite.
Make tracks to Ramsey Waite for John Deere lawn tractors and zero-turn mowers.
There's nothing like a John Deere Gator utility vehicle. From hardworking and trail-ready to the ultimate in work capability. Get into a Gator now at Ramsey Waite.
Don't just dream about it, wait for it.
Ramsey Waite.
Open Monday through Saturday. Franklin Boulevard, Glenwood. Online at RamseyWaite.com.
Hi, Mike here with some info on West Eugene. Did you know there are over 400 businesses on West 6th, 7th, and 11th? Yeah, 400. You'll find stores galore to spruce up your home. From cabinets to carpeting, furniture to flooring, lighting to landscaping. Maybe it's time to splurge on a comfy new mattress or a soothing hot tub. Perk up your place with new paint or pillows. Treat yourself and your home by heading over to West 6th, 7th, and 11th in Eugene. Go West, home improvers. Go West.
Every election year, you hear lots of promises and few guarantees. Lars Larson here to tell you about one guarantee you have right here in Eugene and Lane County. Jeremy Parmenter will sell your home. That's right, Jeremy guarantees to sell your home at a price and a deadline you agree to, or he'll buy it. And Jeremy will sell your home fast. Darbin and Ruby wanted to sell their home and move out of the country. They didn't need the extra stress that comes with selling their home, so they called Jeremy Parmenter. He sold their home in less than 30 days, right on schedule, and got them $10,000 more than any house in that neighborhood. Why would you think of working with any other agent in Eugene or Lane County? And there's no risk. If you want out of the contract, you're out. Call the only agent I recommend in Eugene. Call Jeremy Parmenter at 541-255-5685. That's 541-255-5685. Online, OregonRealEstateAdvisors.com. That's OregonRealEstateAdvisors.com.
A Budweiser, America, and Florida-Georgia line.
I still remember our first big show. Budweiser's in the air, and hearing the crowd sing our song.
That's when it really feels like America is in our hands.
And when I'm holding an ice-cold Budweiser that says America on the front.
That too. Cheers.
This Bud's for you.
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
News Radio 1120 KPNW.
I'm Gary Conley with today's Money Minute. Recently, I reported that the Securities and Exchange Commission has released new rules for investment crowdfunding. For the first time in 80 years, promoters and entrepreneurs can raise small amounts of money from virtually anyone, meaning you if you happen to stumble on a crowdfunding site and fall for a pitch. This is not Kickstarter or GoFundMe, but platforms dedicated to raising money for virtually any cockamamie scheme, from people looking for the next Microsoft or Facebook. Like Powerball winners, there will be a very few who hit it big, but the odds against you are probably about the same. One difference is that with a bit of research, you can quickly weed out the most outrageous propositions, though there will still be infinite ways to lose your money. The rules restrict those raising capital to a maximum of $1 million a year on a rolling 12-month basis. And you can't risk everything because investor speculators may only bet a percentage of their net worth up to a maximum dollar amount. The math of these restrictions makes crowdfunding look like small potatoes, but over time it will add up to a lot of potatoes indeed. Here's the nugget. Anyone can now become an investor in a startup or small business, regardless of their income, net worth, or level of sophistication. More on what that really means soon. I'm Gary Conley, and that's today's Money Minute.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out the door in the next few minutes, we've got partly cloudy skies. Temps right now in the mid-50s to a couple of low 60s with light winds out of the north at 5 to 10. We do have a little bit of light hazy fog that'll burn off over the next couple of hours. By this afternoon, late in the afternoon, we'll see mostly sunny skies return, but this is probably the last day of mostly sunny as the high pressure that gave us the intense temperatures and sunshine has pulled away. We're now tracking a couple of weak storm systems with strong cold fronts set to knock the highs back into the 60s by the end of the week. But for today, this afternoon highs will be in the mid-80s to a couple of low 90s. We should be able to avoid the triple digits as a surface thermal low that helped create those intense temperatures has now shifted east into the Cascades. We will see winds stay northwest at 5 to 10, and there's about a 30% chance of showers every day starting Wednesday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a great day out there.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. The S&P 500 index continues to hover 1% below its all-time high, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up more than 1/3%, and the Nasdaq is unchanged at this hour. Disappointing earnings and outlooks from companies have clouded the outlook for strength in the world's largest economy. Still, with commodities now in a bull market and the weaker dollar helping earnings prospects for multinational companies, the equity benchmark has regained 15% since a February low. Ralph Lauren sank 8.2% after forecasting a revenue drop this year, renewing worries about the American consumer. Biogen slumped 9.5% to lead losses in biotechnology companies after an experimental drug for multiple sclerosis, which had held out hope of altering the course of the disease, failed in a mid-stage trial. The S&P 500 is up 3 points at this hour, 0.1% to 2111. The Dow has added 62 points, a little bit more than 1/3% to 17,978. The Nasdaq is unchanged at 4525. I'm Bob Moon, Bloomberg Radio.
Over the weekend, the Washington Post reported that pork producers are angry over a new federal ban prohibiting bacon, pork chops, ham, and other pig products from being served at federal prisons. The pork ban affects over 200,000 inmates. Now, supposedly the ban's due to prisoner taste and nothing else. Edmund Ross, spokesman for the Bureau of Prisons, says that pork has long been among the lowest-rated foods at the nation's 122 federal prisons. Why keep pushing food that people don't want to eat, he asks. So federal prisoners are surveyed, and foods they supposedly don't like are eliminated, like bacon and ham sandwiches. But in schools, the government bans food that students like and replaces them with foods they hate, at Michelle Obama's insistence. The National Pork Producers Council thinks something's fishy. Spokesman Dave Warner said, "I find it hard to believe that a survey would have found a majority of any population saying, 'No, thanks, I don't want any bacon.'" But not everybody's unhappy. We've got another spokesman. Ibrahim Hooper, Council on American Islamic Relations, had this to say of the pork ban. He said, "In general, we welcome the change because it's facilitating the accommodation of Muslim inmates." Mr. Hooper, It's just a coincidence that our federal prisons have suddenly become compliant with a Sharia law ban on pork. Honest, it's just a coincidence. Right, Mabel? Right? If you use a free credit monitoring service, you may think it'll protect your identity, but it will not help resolve identity theft problems. And you may not realize that some free credit monitoring services feel free to sell your personal information. LifeLock will never, ever sell your personal information, but they will help protect you from identity theft. LifeLock uses proprietary technology to detect and alert you to a wide range of potential threats. And in the event that they discover a problem, they have a team of U.S.-based specialists who will work to resolve it. Now, of course, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions in all businesses, but LifeLock helps protect you without selling your personal information. LifeLock membership starts just $9.99 a month, plus applicable taxes. Call 1-800-440-4833. Visit LifeLock.com now and use the promo code RUSH. That's RUSH. Safety.
Fox News, fair and balanced. We report, you decide. On News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. California has become the last state to open the polls this primary season, and this voter is ready to cast a ballot for Hillary Clinton.
She has a lot of experience, she has a lot of good ideas, and it would be nice to have a woman's perspective.
But Bernie Sanders believes a big turnout will give him a win today, even though Clinton may have already won the race. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has more live.
Well, Dave, while the Associated Press says Hillary Clinton has made history by becoming the first woman to be the presumptive Democratic nominee, Bernie Sanders says not so fast.
It is the Democratic National Committee that says do not lump together pledged delegates, real delegates, with superdelegates.
She has 571 superdelegates. He has just 48. Clinton has won 29 states and territories. Sanders has won 21. Voters will cast ballots in California, New Mexico, New Jersey, Montana, and South Dakota, and caucus in North Dakota, Dave.
Sonia, several Republicans, including senators and former House Speaker Newt Gingrich, want Donald Trump to stop criticizing the judge overseeing the Trump University fraud case, claiming his Mexican heritage makes him biased. But Trump tells Fox,
thousands and thousands of students have signed documents saying it was a great school, that they learned a lot, it was wonderful, they gave it high marks. I mean, I think we've turned it. So at least by talking about it, people understand it's a civil lawsuit that should have been dismissed a long time ago.
Now, House Speaker Paul Ryan hopes to unify Republicans with a proposal to overhaul U.S. poverty programs.
Help people save and plan for their future.
Ryan also wants to reward work and improve people's work skills and schools. Democrats have called Ryan's new effort a sham. Tropical storm Colin moved across Florida fast. Now it's over North Carolina's Outer Banks, full of rain. It did minor damage in Florida with some flooding and power outages. The Cincinnati Zoo is now open this morning, and people can go see the gorillas again. Though there's a new safety barrier after the child got into the exhibit last month, and a gorilla endangering the 3-year-old boy was shot and killed, prompting a lot of social media outrage, though the boy's mother was not charged. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
There comes a time in each of our lives, a day that defines us. Will you be ordinary or extraordinary? Will you be humdrum or will you be a hero? That day is today. The day you choose to become an ODOT-approved driver ed instructor. Hey folks, Driver Ed here, just practicing my recruitment speech because I want you to help me save lives. Did you know that teens who take Driver Ed go on to be much better drivers? That means fewer crashes and safer roads. But to reach everyone across the state, we need more instructors. So consider joining me, Driver Ed. You'll gain valuable teaching experience and earn some extra money. And with less than 9 weeks for training, including convenient online classes, you can be a ready-to-hire hero in no time. Allowing for cape fittings, of course. So choose to be extraordinary. Become an ODOT-approved Driver Ed instructor. Get started at whydrivewithed.com. See you down the road, heroes. A message from ODOT.
Stocks are up some more today, and the Dow is closing in on 18,000. Fox Business Network's Nicole Petalides live on Wall Street.
Dave Anthony, you're absolutely right. We are just 9 points away from Dow 18,000. The Dow right now up 72 at 17,991. The Nasdaq up 3. The S&P 500 up 5. It's worth noting that the S&P 500 is within 1% of its all-time high and closed at the highest level of the year yesterday. We're seeing gains across the board. Energy once again helping to lift stocks. energy as oil gains. That's what we're seeing. Apple, Chevron, Verizon, United Technologies lead the way on the Dow. Ralph Lauren down about 7% today. Verizon is a winner. Back to you.
Thank you, Nicole. You mentioned oil. That price is over $50 a barrel this morning, of a $0.50 as gas stays about the same. AAA's national average for regular remains close to $2.36 a gallon. The Playboy Mansion has a new owner.
The buyer, a billionaire businessman who lives next door to the Playboy Mansion. Darren Metropoulos, who bought his current home from Playboy founder Hugh Hefner, confirming the sale, but wouldn't say what he paid for the property. The asking price was $200 million, but local real estate agents called that ridiculously overpriced. Metropoulos, the 32-year-old former co-owner of Pabst Brewing Company and co-owner of Hostess Brands, the maker of Twinkies, says the 90-year-old Hefner will be allowed to live in the mansion for the rest of his life. Jay Metzler, Fox News.
The Penguins might get to skate around carrying the Stanley Cup Thursday night on home ice after Pittsburgh beat San Jose 3-1 last night to go up 3-1 in the final. But the Sharks coach Peter DeBoer says
there's no quit in our group. We've been the best road team in the league. We're going to show up and try and get this back here for Game 6. Until you win 4, this isn't over.
Now the NBA Finals resume tomorrow, and the Warriors lead the Cavaliers 2-0. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
You know, for the longest time, you heard the discussion, is LeBron better than MJ, as in Michael Jordan? I think, especially if they get swept, I think that's pretty much going to put a kibosh. The only people that you'll be, hearing that conversation on their lips will be living in Cleveland, maybe some in Miami.
Hey, and by the way, Rob, I'm going to buy you a tent, and you can live there the rest of your life. I'm doing that for you.
Eight-man tent? How big?
It's a one-man tent. It's from Walmart.
You might be...
it's from Walmart. I'm buying you a one-man tent, and you can live there the rest of your life.
I have you on tape saying that, so I'm going to be looking for that tent.
It's a one-man tent.
Thank you.
And you can live there the rest of your life.
In case you didn't hear the discussion where Hugh Hefner gets to live in his Playboy Mansion for the rest of his life, thanks to the...
guy that bought it for... whatever it was, $200
Pabst
million.
Blue Ribbon. It's like, guy's got some bucks. Hey, welcome in. It is a Tuesday, June 7th, News Radio 1120 KPNW with sunshine. Hopefully you're looking out the window and you're witnessing such. High of about 91. We got a little bit of cloud cover. Should keep things relatively contained in the afternoon. Partly cloudy and 56. And then the bottom falls out, and we probably are going to have frost. No. 70 degrees, 20% chance of rain. Although some parts of the state, I think they're talking about Wednesday night, Thursday night, lows back into the lower 30s, especially up there in the Cascades. So if you're camping, bundle up. Crash on Highway 99, milepost 4. How can that be 4? We're talking about 1 mile north of Cresswell. Maybe it's a 99 offshoot. Anyway. 1 mile north of Cresswell, we got a crash. Hopefully get that fixed up nice and tight, and the rest of it will look good. That stretch between the Highway 99, between Cresswell, I guess I'm thinking more Cottage Grove and Cresswell. There's some tricky spots. I'm glad, but you could see where there would be a potential for even more crashes there. I'm not sending karma that direction. Everybody's doing a good job of negotiating, but it gets a little bit tricky. Coming up, Tommy, the 12-year-old. It's been a while since we've had our political consultant, Tommy, who is 12 years old, hence the name. Will he still have that title in 3-4 years when we still have him on the show? I think we should.
Yeah, when he's 16.
Yeah.
It's Tommy, the 12-year-old, who just turned 16.
Or
who just graduated from college.
We'll do the Menudo thing, and we'll have somebody else going to take his position.
Oh, yeah, they will just call Tommy.
And they'll play Tommy, the 12-year-old, on the radio. All right, keeping news coming up. What are you working on?
Cascadia Rising starts today. We'll tell you about the local involvement here. We'll also tell you about the move to build something where the Civic used to be. We'll take a look at that story as well. All coming up and more here on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Where news time is 7:08.
Somebody coined the phrase, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. If that's true, why do people eat such weird stuff for breakfast? Fried dough, rolled in sugar, mystery meat on an English muffin, stale bread dipped in egg and fried? If breakfast is important, treat it that way with a breakfast from Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You get real food real fast, and it's real good. It's no mystery, I'm the bacon guy and love their bacon burritos with 2 types of bacon, I'll remind you. But Burrito Amigos can set you up with link sausage, huevos rancheros, chorizo, meatless burritos, or my new almost favorite, the machaca burrito with black Angus steak, sauteed onions, and green peppers mixed in with potatoes. Delicious. That's a Bill London endorsement, by the way. And mornings were also made for coffee, so stop by the kiosk on 6th in Eugene or 42nd in Springfield and enjoy an espresso along with your meal. Breakfast shouldn't just be important, it should be good. Burrito Amigos in Eugene and Springfield.
Warmer weather is coming. You may be ready, but is your vehicle? Mid-Lane Truck and Equipment Repair can perform a complete inspection of your cooling and air conditioning system to ensure you and your vehicle stay cool when it gets hot out. Offering bumper-to-bumper service and repair on trucks, RVs, autos, and trailers, including general maintenance, in-frame overhauls, welding, fabricating, liftgate, and reefer repair. Call Mid-Lane Truck and Equipment Repair now to beat the heat.
If you're thinking about a new RV or an RV upgrade, don't make a decision without seeing what the RV Corral can do for you. At the RV Corral, serving you is at the top of their list. It all starts with their newly expanding award-winning service and parts department. Are you looking to sell or consign your RV? The RV Corral will buy your RV for cash or free consignment. High trade-in allowance too. With local owners for 28 years and all local employees, the RV Corral will be there to help you make your RV dreams come true. Easy to find on Highway 99, 1 mile south of Belline. Buy anywhere else, you'll pay too much.
It's the big happenings in the Valley and the state. This is the Wake Up Call on 1120 KPNW with Bill London.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed, locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. Well, Portland schools aren't the only ones that have lead in their water. The Eugene 4J School District also found elevated levels of lead at Sheldon High, Kennedy, and Roosevelt Middle Schools, along with the district's education center. And they found it back in late March. Only they just last night sent a letter out. The district says it addressed the plumbing fixtures in question at the time, although a new single issue was discovered in a faucet at Roosevelt again on Monday. While the district says it has addressed that issue as well, they still plan to distribute bottled water at all 4 buildings starting today, which begs the question, why didn't they start passing out bottled water a couple of months ago? Well, according to the district, facility workers didn't inform their higher-ups about the elevated levels until last week. The district says it intends to do a more complete testing of the schools district-wide over summer break. A Eugene woman who sued her adoptive parents after disclosing that her father sexually abused her has agreed to settle a civil case. According to documents filed in Lane County Circuit Court, the case has been settled, though details of the agreement are confidential. The victim sued her adoptive father, formerly the most beloved insurance agent in Eugene, Rick Jackson, if you saw his billboards around town, after she filed criminal charges for child sex abuse. The 61-year-old insurance agent and former church pastor pleaded guilty in April and was sentenced to 15 years in prison. After his arrest, the victim's father divorced his wife, Evelyn, and transferred his then ex-wife all of his interest in real estate properties with a combined value of over $1.5 million. The victim claimed the property transfer was simply done to defraud her. The Eugene Civic Alliance has hired Eugene-based Chambers Construction to build a sports and entertainment venue on the property once home to Civic Stadium. The Alliance plans to release a new rendering of the project, its estimated costs, and how much the Alliance has raised so far through donors when all of that planning work is complete in late summer or early fall. Architectural firm Skylabs and Robinson Sherwood are completing work on a conceptual design for the project, according to Derek Johnson, director of the capital campaign for the Civic Alliance. He says the project itself is pretty big.
Basketball gyms, offices, storage, that kind of stuff. We hope to build a synthetic field for everything from pro-level soccer to rugby, ultimate frisbee, high school football, anything else that wants to use the field. And we want to build a stadium along Willamette Street there where the old stadium was before it burned down about a year ago.
The timeline is yet to be finalized as far as when they're going to start breaking ground.
Breaking ground within 18 months, and we'll build it out from there.
The process wouldn't be happening if Four Boys hadn't raised Civic Stadium last summer after the organization had already raised $4.1 million to purchase the property. The Alliance has received about $2.7 million from an insurance policy, but they're still negotiating with the insurer to get the maximum $3 million that the policy was supposed to cover. Well, the state has not given up its appeal of a federal civil lawsuit, or make that has given up its appeal of a federal civil lawsuit over an Oregon State police captain who kicked a Eugene motorcyclist in the chest during a traffic stop in 2012. The suit was brought by Justin Wilkins after a videotaped encounter with Captain Rob Edwards. Edwards rammed Wilkins' motorcycle during a stop. Then, when Wilkins had his hands in the air, Edwards kicked him in the chest. It broke Wilkins' clavicle and fractured his rib, along with other injuries. Wilkins was awarded a total of $517,009. He'll personally receive $181,000, with the remaining sum paying for attorney fees and court costs. The state asked the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to grant the state's motion to dismiss. The court obliged last Friday. Emergency responders throughout the Northwest are going to be put to the test this week. Brad Ford reports on the Cascadia Rising drill that starts today.
The scenario for this drill is based on the big one that geologists warn will hit in the next 50 years.
The scenario basically depicts a 9.0 earthquake along the Cascadia subduction zone.
Andrew Phelps, director of the Oregon Office of Emergency Management, says the quake will knock down bridges, buildings, and cause a 50-foot tsunami. All communications will be gone, so they'll replicate that in the drill.
They're going to rely almost exclusively for the first part of the exercise on amateur radio communications.
Police, fire, hospitals, governments in Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and British Columbia will take part in this drill. The goal is to find what goes wrong, what they didn't plan for, and how they can improve their response when the quake does hit. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
Now, the Lane County Sheriff's Office of Emergency Management is going to play a part in the Cascadia Rising drill. They're hosting a 3-day functional training exercise today through the 9th involving an earthquake and tsunamis. Participants from multiple agencies are going to be gathering.
We're going to gather together and work through the scenario from beginning to end, mostly focusing on operational communications and the ability to effectively respond to the impacts of a disaster of this magnitude.
Sergeant Carrie Carver with the Sheriff's Office says they haven't figured out yet how much the 3-day exercise is going to cost Lane County taxpayers.
The more we practice, the better we get at it. So when a situation actually occurs, it becomes a seamless floating process.
Functional exercises are used to test and evaluate the capability of a jurisdiction to respond to a simulated emergency. Don't mistake this for a full-scale exercise, which includes all of the above, plus emergency response elements. The city of Mosier lifted its boil water advisory as work crews continue to remove oil from tanker cars that derailed. Water sample tests showed that water from a backup well now being used is safe to drink. As a result, the city lifted the boil water advisory except for a pair of homes on Rock Creek Road. Response crews continue to transfer oil off the derailed tank cars and stage it for transport through the Dalles. Now, Union Pacific has identified a preliminary cause of the crash, saying a bolt that fastens the rail to the railroad ties may have been at fault. They also say the final determination of the cause, though, still hasn't been made. 16 tanker cars carrying Bakken crude oil derailed Friday afternoon. Officials estimate that 42,000 gallons of crude escaped from 4 rail cars. Shifting winds are compromising efforts to contain a new lightning-sparked wildfire that's burned 400 acres about 20 miles northeast of Chiloquin on the Fremont-Wenema National Forest, according to officials. The draw fire has grown to an estimated 400 acres as of late yesterday evening. According to Jim Hampton, fire management officer officer for the Chiloquin Ranger District. It started in a steep draw, and then it moved quickly uphill in thick lodgepole and ponderosa pine. Meanwhile, in eastern Oregon, the lightning storm Sunday evening ignited 2 fires on BLM's Vail district, including one that blew up to over 23,000 acres. The smaller of the 2 BLM fires is called the Palomino Hills Fire. It's at about 50 acres inside. They expect it to be contained by this morning. That larger fire is called the Oahe Canyon Fire. It's 38 miles southwest of Jordan Valley. As of late last night, it was a little over 23,000 acres. As the weather dries out, the Forest Service and the BLM are watching for people using fireworks and exploding targets on federal land. Brad Ford has more.
Exploding targets add a new element to practicing with a gun.
Rather than shooting at a standard paper target, they shoot at a target that explodes.
Tracy Weaver with the U.S. Forest Service says when conditions are dry, both exploding targets and fireworks can quickly start a wildfire.
April ended up being the warmest April on record for us in the Pacific Northwest, so things are definitely drying out.
And if you're caught, the sentence is stiff.
They're up to $1,000 and up to a year in jail.
And if you start a wildfire, you can end up paying for the cost to fight it. Brad Ford, News Radio 1120 KPNW.
A group called Clean Water Oregon has called on Governor Kate Brown, House Speaker Tina Kotek, and Senate President Peter Courtney to respond to plans announced last week by the Oregon Health Authority's State Dental Director Bruce Austin. He says that he wants to increase statewide water fluoridation from 23% to 80% by 2019. Now, the problem there is that goal can only be achieved through a legislative bill that would overturn city ordinances voted on by constituents across the state, including Eugene. Clean Water Oregon called on the three to state that they do not support legislation that would overturn Democratic votes that have already been taken against water fluoridation. Benton County Commissioner Annabelle Yarmio was arraigned on a drunken driving charge. The longtime commissioner pleaded not guilty Monday, but told a judge through her attorney she plans to enter a diversion program. A judge scheduled a Friday hearing to decide whether to let Yarmio plead guilty and enter the program. Yarmio was pulled over while returning home from a fundraiser on April 26th. Philomath police said the commissioner registered a blood alcohol well above the legal limit, but they've still yet to release how far above the legal limit it actually was. According to the police officers that arrested Yarmio, she was all over the road, even going over a median. Luckily, there were no kids in the road. Diversion agreements are a common way of resolving first offense Dewey cases in Oregon. If Yarmio fulfills the terms of the agreement, the charge would be dismissed and she would not have a conviction on her record. Convenient if you're a politician seeking your 5th term in office. Oregon state officials have lifted a cease and desist order on a Portland company after the company agreed to restrictions on its use of toxic metals, including lead. Bullseye Glass agreed to a state mandate to stop using certain heavy metals. The company in February voluntarily ceased using arsenic, cadmium, and hexavalent chromium in furnaces lacking pollution controls. The agreement adds lead to the list. Governor Brown issued the order to Bullseye in May after monitoring at a daycare near the business showed lead levels 4 times higher than the 24-hour benchmark. The agreement also allows Bullseye to resume using other metals if they submit a written request that's approved by state legislators or make that regulators who will check the use of metals with air test results. So bats are in danger of a disease called white nose syndrome, and there are steps that you can take while enjoying the outdoors to keep that disease from spreading. Brad Ford has more.
White nose syndrome has killed 6 million bats since 2006. A case was detected in Washington state last March. You can spread it by walking in a cave or other structure where bats live.
There are many abandoned mines and abandoned buildings and structures on public lands, so we urge people to think about those as well.
Greg Shine of the BLM says this time of year bats are especially vulnerable.
Bats are in a very delicate stage in their life cycle in the spring.
You also don't want to handle bats because they can carry rabies babies. If you find a dead bat, contact the State Fish and Wildlife Department. Brad Ford, KPNW.
So people who work too much may be more likely to have depression or ADHD. Researchers from Norway found that of the workaholics participating in the study, nearly 33% had symptoms of ADHD, compared with about 13% of non-workaholics. LiveScience.com says workaholics scored higher on all the psychiatric symptoms. Nearly 26% of workaholics had symptoms of obsessive-compulsive disorder. About 34% of workaholics had symptoms of anxiety, and nearly 9% had symptoms of depression. For the study, workaholics had to meet certain criteria, including whether they work so much that it has negatively influenced their health, or they feel stressed when they're prohibited from working. People who were younger, single, highly educated, and of higher economic status showed greater levels of workaholism. They say it was also more common among women, managers, self-employed people, and people working in the private sector. Maybe it's all that, or they just don't want to go broke. It's 7:24. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
By the way, Tommy, the 12-year-old, is in studio, and this is breaking news. It just came out that he will not be on the Olympic team coming up. This is breaking news. No one has this news just yet, but along with Steph Curry, Tommy, the 12-year-old, will not be on the Olympic basketball team. I guess when it comes right down to it, though, Oregon golfer Aaron Wise can flat out play the game of golf really well. Better than me. After being crowned the NCAA champion and then helping the team get another title, Wise took his game to a U.S. Open qualifier in Vancouver yesterday and won it, adorned in Callaway attire. His new client, so used to his Oregon getup, it's a little bit different. He was 1 over after 9, but got his game going, birdieing 7 of the last 9 holes to finish 5 under 67. Now, 9 days from today, he'll be at Oakmont as an entrant to the U.S. Open. Kind of a nice way to start the professional part of your career. After Churchill won the state title over the weekend, Lancer pitcher Emma Jevig was named the 5A State Pitcher of the Year. Coach Eric Lebe named the 5A Coach of the Year. Lauren Burke from Marist named the Player of the Year. She's only a junior. She'll be playing for Oregon in 2 years. Oregon didn't make it to the Softball World Series, but Oklahoma did, and they're a win away from winning their 3rd national championship. They took Game 1 of the final series 3-2 over Auburn. Game 2 is tonight at 5 o'clock. NBA San Antonio Spurs forward LaMarcus Aldridge won't be on the U.S. team's roster for the Olympics because of a finger injury. Aldridge on the list of no-shows that includes Steph Curry, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, Tommy the 12-year-old, and Anthony Davis. Might open the door for one Blazer, Damian Lillard. And former UFC fighter, MMA star Kimbo Slice has died from an undisclosed cause. No foul play was suspected. Kimbo last fought in February and gained fame after a video of him in action went viral. He leaves a fiancé and 6 kids. Kimbo Slice, only 42. Wake Up Call Sports brought to you by Max Muscle. Don't get sold, get educated by a certified nutritionist. On Franklin across from Market of Choice. News time, 7:26.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes, we've got partly cloudy skies, a little bit of light haze fog out there, but not as thick as yesterday. Temps right now in the mid-50s to a couple of low 60s, with light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. This afternoon, we'll see the partly cloudy skies become mostly sunny, but this is probably the end of the sunshine as we're tracking multiple weak storm systems headed this way. Highs this afternoon will be back into the mid-80s with a few low 90s out there, but we should finally be able to avoid most of the area seeing any triple digits. Winds will shift northwest and go to 10 to 15 with a few gusts up to 20 late in the afternoon. We'll start to see a few isolated chances of showers starting as early as Wednesday, carrying into the weekend as 2 different cold front and storm systems start to approach the area. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
Ramjack leads the way in foundation repair. Protect your investment. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com. Check out our exceptional online reviews, then choose Ramjack.
CCB 146906.
Hi, everybody. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute, brought to you by Builders Electric, providing smart electrical service since 1960. Without a doubt, one of the most perceptive persons in our world's history was Helen Keller, who, even though blind for her entire life, once said, "I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. I will not refuse to do the something I can do." Do you think you're handicapped in some way? Even so, what are the things you do well? You can still do those things, and even if they are only a few, you can still do them. So do something, and definitely don't refuse to do the things you can do well. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, have a positive day.
Today's Motivational Minute was sponsored by the folks at Builders Electric, a company that can handle all your electrical needs at home or your business with smart, positive service. That's Builders Electric.
Join Max Muscle for our 5-year anniversary this Saturday. Meet 4-time Mr. Olympian Jay Cutler and former Duck and NFL star Jeff Mayle. Great food from Qdoba, tons of in-store specials and giveaways. Max Muscle of Eugene, Franklin Boulevard, across from the Market of Choice.
The Eugene Symphony Guild Garden Tour is coming Saturday, June 12th. This self-guided tour features 6 gardens with live music at every stop. Proudly sponsored by Jerry's and benefiting the Eugene Symphony. For ticket information, go to eugenesymphonyguild.org.
Hi, I'm Carl Deichler, the CEO of Beachbody, and I'm here to tell you about an amazing new way you can start losing weight for free right now. You've probably seen our workout DVDs on TV like P90X, Insanity, and 21 Day Fix. We just launched a beta trial of our new digital video platform, Beachbody On Demand. So while we're testing out this new digital video service, I'm inviting you to use it for free for 30 days. That means you can lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, even 30 pounds without paying a dime. Text the word trial to 303030 and you can do 30 days of P90X, Insanity, or any of over 400 workouts for free. Now here's the catch. In return, all I ask is you let us know what you think of the service so we can make Beachbody On Demand the best fitness and weight loss site ever created. Just text TRIAL to 303030 and get started for free right now. Again, text TRIAL to 303030.
Message and data rates may apply. Membership fees apply after 30-day free trial. Cancel anytime.
Over 300,000 veterans have received the care and benefits they've earned because Paralyzed Veterans of America was there. If you need help with a claim or just navigating the system, contact us at pva.org.
All right, so if your carpets need a cleaning, you need to call Zero Res. And I'll tell you why. Because Zero Res is a completely different type of carpet cleaning. You don't get chemicals that are used on your carpet like some places do. You don't get shampoos and soaps that get left on your carpet with a little bit of residue like some do. The reason they're called Zero Res is because you don't have the residue because they use, well, water. It's just a different type of water. They actually run electricity through it, through a type of electrolysis that causes it to act, the water to act kind of like a soap and lift the dirt out of the carpet where it's then extracted. But what does it leave as far as residue? Nothing, just water. And as a result, the carpets dry faster and you don't get that crunchy stuff that's left in carpets. I know a little bit about this. I used to clean carpets, and after going out with the Zero Res folks, watching them at work and even actually using their stuff to clean some carpets, I can tell you, it's pretty impressive. Even on a carpet that I thought, yeah, I don't know, this one's pretty much beyond the pale. So call them today. Call Zero Res, mention me, Bill Lennon, or KPNW, and you'll pay just $44 per room cleaned. Minimums apply. Call Zero Res, 998-0998-ZERO, or just go online, ZeroResEugene.com.
I won't mention any names, but their initials are
Holloway in London. The Wake Up Call. News Radio 1120 KPNW.
7:32. Already got a couple of comments about the Radio Coolidge conversation, so I'm happy. Anytime you hear something that either works or doesn't work, it behooves you to throw out a comment if it stirred you or it just kind of put you to sleep. We had Radio Coolidge, who at 71 years old, is holding well. All right, so we got this crash to still converse about. Oregon Highway 99, milepost 4, 1 mile north of Cresswell. We got a crash. It doesn't say exactly which lane. I'm thinking if it's Highway 99 just above Cresswell, it could be potentially both. Hopefully they have it over there on the corner. But that right there is like the lone snafu in our neck of the woods. Down Roseburg, they have something working, milepost 125, southbound shoulder. They got a vehicle fire, which is never fun. Vehicle fires on the list of things that you want to deal with on the road, not top 10.
I would agree. Yeah. No, vehicle fire.
Thank you, Bill London.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever dealt with a vehicle fire?
Not my fire, but somebody else's that we were trying to circumnavigate.
It kind of gets panicky, doesn't it? Because you keep thinking, oh, yeah, there's this explosive fuel here.
Yeah.
What do we do? Run away. Everybody run away. Yeah. Done that a couple of times. Not fun. Actually watched an RV burn one time. You want to talk about a big fire. Holy cow. You've got the propane tanks.
Where did it start?
Where did the fire start? I have no idea where the fire in the vehicle started, but they were on the road, pulled off the side of the highway. The fire department, the police, everybody else had the road cleared off, and we got to watch the thing explode. I mean, and when I say explode, I'm not talking about boom. I'm talking about mushroom cloud type explosion. It was amazing. And what was even more amazing was how fast the thing burned.
Oh.
It just was, oh, okay, 5 minutes later, it's pretty much done. And gone.
It's, I guess, not surprising, but it's amazing how when you feel like something like that, you actually feel a jolt, and you feel, you can be a ways away and you'll still feel the heat, even if you're, a good distance.
Yeah, from the shock wave.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's hope that doesn't, that nobody out there on the roadways experiences that. You just experience it through the radio, because that would not be a way that you want to.
that would be a buzzkill.
Yeah. So right now, Highway 99, the lone snafu. Let's hope that that continues. So you've made a couple of comments off the air, getting ready to do news. If I was, and I have a feeling I know which. Well,
go ahead.
Which of today's stories, which one promotes a Bill London reaction the most?
Oh, I think probably the Annabelle Yarmio story, the Benton County Commissioner who had her first court date and said, I'm going to plead not guilty, but I'm going to go into diversion. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. You're not guilty of drunk driving, yet you're going to take a diversion course. Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's a legal technicality and formality. And then Friday she can plead guilty and then go take her diversion course. But still, I find that pretty much classic. And she's running for re-election, and here she is. She's driving all over the road. By the way, from a fundraiser. So she's out at getting liquored up and drunk at a fundraiser, and then going out and basically potentially running over kids in Philomath. Oof. So anyway, that one's just a little bit irritating. And
close to home.
And close to, well, yeah, that's part of it too. And then the other one, I don't know. I think the story where the state
trooper,
the state trooper, that one. Why did I have no idea why the state would even go so far as to appeal it. I mean, the guy's on videotape. Okay, I get it. The guy was speeding. He was going 100 miles an hour on a motorcycle. No one does that on a motorcycle. Anyway, he passes the cop car.
I know you don't.
He passes the cop car, which is unmarked. The cop follows him, pulls him over. The guy pulls over, so what does the cop do? Rams the motorcycle, number one. Okay, maybe I can see it. Maybe that part of it I get. The guy is standing there. He's got his hands basically, in the submission. Hey, dude, Don't tase me, bro. And the cop just kicks him in the chest.
And it's not just a...
No, it's not a little tap. It kicks him hard enough to break a rib, fracture his clavicle, along with other injuries. And the state appeals this? And it's on videotape? I mean, you get to watch it over as a juror over and over and over again. You get to see what the cop does. And why? First off, why is that cop still even on the job is the first question. The second thing is, why, in God's name, does the state decide that they want to appeal that decision when they should have just went, look, I mean, the lawyer for this, the Justice Department lawyer should have just went, yeah, you know what, we're not winning this. And just dropped it at that point. But no, they want to waste a bunch of more money on appealing it. Then finally they go to the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals and go, yeah, I think we're just going to drop it. On a side note, I also find it kind of interesting that it's, what was it, $518,000, something like that, that he was awarded, the guy was awarded, but he'll only get $181,000, something like that, and the rest goes to the lawyers. I don't think that surprises anybody, but it's always worth pointing out.
Fair.
Yeah.
Not fair.
It's always worth pointing out. Not surprising to anyone, but always worth pointing out.
When you first saw and then realized it was the state of Oregon, did you think, I mean, maybe not millions, but I thought, yeah, close to it. I was thinking $1 million.
Yeah. I thought, I figured it would probably
more
be
than five. I mean, well, more than what he's getting for sure. All right, Tommy, the 12-year-old, makes his triumphant return. He's going to be up next on 1120 KPNW.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are moving higher. The Dow up 72 points, the Nasdaq up 4, and the S&P up 6, with energy stocks leading the way as oil moves above $50 a barrel. Gannett is going ahead with its hostile takeover bid for Tribune Publishing. A large number of shareholders refused to back Tribune's board nominees last week, suggesting support for a merger. The company behind USA Today, the Chicago Tribune, and LA Times says it would sign an agreement to share private business information to help negotiate an all-cash deal. Verizon is planning to offer $3 billion for Yahoo's core internet business in the second round of bidding, according to the Wall Street Journal. The report also says equity firm TPG is preparing a second round bid in that range. $3 billion is at the high end of the range of bids reported a month ago, but it's well below the $4 to $8 billion analysts initially thought Yahoo could fetch. I'm Adrienne Mitchell, Bloomberg Radio.
Pacific Continental Bank is proud to call the Eugene-Springfield area home for more than 40 years. As your local banker, partner, and neighbor, we are committed to the health and sustainability of your business and our community. We know it takes more than a loan or deposit to help you succeed. It takes people who know you, your business, and your community. Who says we can't be more than a bank? Pacific Continental Bank, the right bank. Learn more at therightbank.com. Member FDIC.
Hey, Mike here with some info on West Eugene. Did you know there are over 400 businesses on West 6th, 7th, and 11th? Yeah, 400. That includes lots of places to help you express yourself. Maybe you're ready for your first tattoo, or adding to your tat sleeve. Or perhaps cool nail designs are more your thing. Ooh. For you crafty types, get supplies for your scrapbooking and leatherwork. And if you'd rather sit back and relax, there's live theater. Express yourself along West 6th, 7th, and 11th in Eugene. Go West, creative people. Go West.
Father's Day is coming up, and wouldn't it be great to give Dad a gift he'll appreciate all year long? Spring, summer, fall, and of course winter. I'm David McNeil, founder of WeatherTech. Dad's car, truck, or SUV can take a beating from the season's dirt, sand, mud, and just about anything tracked back to his vehicle, which can ruin the floor. And the best way to protect it is with WeatherTech floor liners. We design, engineer, and manufacture right here in America, using American raw materials, tooling and equipment, and of course, American workers. This Father's Day, order WeatherTech floor liners and give Dad a gift he can use all year round, so he'll never have to worry about spills or messes damaging his vehicle again. And when messes do happen, they easily rinse right off. To learn more about our full line of automotive accessories, go to WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. For the ultimate vehicle protection, choose WeatherTech, proudly made in America. And from all of us at WeatherTech, Happy Father's Day.
I wasn't prepared to be a caregiver to Mom, but a little over a year ago, we realized she couldn't take care of herself without our help. And well, how could I not be there for her? I had no idea how hard it would be, and just what I would need to know. Things I never thought of, like how to improve her mood and, even for me, ways to stay positive. Luckily, I found the Caregiving Resource Center from AARP. It had articles about the basics that got me started, but also information about the hurdles I was facing in this new role. I could even connect with experts and hear from others who had been in my place. I know this road we're on isn't an easy one, but I'm really happy to have the extra help for her and for me.
Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. This message is brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out the door in the next few minutes, we've got partly cloudy skies. Temps right now in the mid-50s to a couple of low 60s with light winds out of the north at 5 to 10. We do have a little bit of light hazy fog that'll burn off over the next couple of hours. By this afternoon, late in the afternoon, we'll see mostly sunny skies return, but this is probably the last day of mostly sunny as the high pressure that gave us the intense temperatures and sunshine has pulled away. We're now tracking a couple of weak storm systems with strong cold fronts set to knock the highs back into the 60s by the end of the week. But for today, this afternoon highs will be in the mid-80s to a couple of low 90s. We should be able to avoid the triple digits as a surface thermal low that helped create those intense temperatures has now shifted east into the Cascades. We will see winds stay northwest at 5 to 10, and there's about a 30% chance of showers every day starting Wednesday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a great day out there.
Hey, don't look at me. I didn't invite them.
The Wake Up Call with Holloway in London on News Radio 1120. KPNW.
7:45, 15 away from 8 o'clock. He's making a return to the Widmer Brothers studio. Tommy, the 12-year-old, our political consultant here on the Wake Up Call. Tommy, welcome back. Thank you for taking time away from your education.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
We were talking about this off the air, and I asked you, summer's almost here. You're almost done with school, and you didn't seem to be too thrilled.
No, well, first of all, my parents are going to send me off to camps.
They're going to send you off to camps?
You make it sound like prison.
Do you go kicking and screaming? Are you not a camp fan?
I don't know. I've never been to a camp, so I don't know. But I imagine we're gonna go on a couple of trips. Like, we're probably gonna go to California and visit my brother. That will be fun. I think that's the only thing I'm looking forward to over the summer, really. And then keeping going with this kind of thing. Taking more polls actually underway. They're underway right now. So.
Wait, so you're doing your own poll?
Tommy's doing Tommy's polling. I think that's what you out of college, just Tommy's polling.
I've interviewed a little less than 15 people, maybe 13 or 14.
Yeah.
It's about the number of listeners we have. That works out.
Yeah, 15. That's exactly
by
right.
5,000.
What have you found out in your polling?
So I'm asking different questions. I'm asking Catholics what they think about Donald Trump, and I'm surprised how many conservative Catholics, that former Cruz supporters, that said that they would vote for Bernie over Trump, or they would not vote at all if it was Hillary and Trump. I find it so surprising, and I thought they would vote for Trump. They just hated his wall idea, because pretty much everyone knows that Catholic Charities bring in a lot of illegals, and they're not even worried about that. They're just saying, like, well, I don't think it will work, but yeah, okay. Some of them suggested, build drones or stuff. They're going to dig tunnels and stuff, but and then they think it's going to cost too much money and it won't be worth it. But I'm asking Bernie supporters. I've only got to ask a couple.
Can you ask like you would ask?
Yeah.
So if we were just walking
pretend
down
like
the
I'm
street,
a Bernie.
You're a Bernie supporter.
I'm wearing a Bernie shirt. I have got to feel the burn.
Here, I have the microphone. Will you, if it comes down to Trump and Hillary, will you vote for Hillary? I'll be the person that I asked 3 people, and only one of them said they would not vote.
Okay. Well, you didn't get my answer, so ask the question again.
Would
Like
you vote-
if I got a Feel the Burn T-shirt on and I'm walking down the street.
If it comes down to Hillary and Trump, would you vote for Hillary?
Will she give me free stuff?
Maybe. No, probably.
Okay.
She doesn't understand.
Okay. If she gives me free stuff, I'll vote for Hillary.
Yeah, you go to the U of O.
Now, what do the folks? Yeah. What do the folks actually say that you've asked?
2 of them said definitely.
That they would definitely vote.
They would
for
definitely
Hillary?
vote for Hillary. Just Bernie was their first choice. One of them said definitely not. I'm not going to vote for a criminal, and I'm not going to vote for a racist. That's what they said.
Oh.
Where
so
are
then
you?
they're voting for Trump. Get it? They're voting. Oh boy.
Where are you finding the people that you're including in your surveys?
Killing
Well,
myself.
I have a family member that lives in Veneta, and they go to church there, and I go to that church, and I asked a couple people about the Catholic thing and how they feel about Trump. I got that information from there in Veneta, and then the Bernie supporters I asked at school.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
Are you asking him during the service, or do you kind of wait till after everybody's kind of milling about?
after everyone's like, yeah.
Okay.
I talked to a couple of neighbors. I have a neighbor that's a big birdie fan, like has birdie signs and stuff. That I need to ask about that.
Okay, so by the way, Tommy, the 12-year-old, in with the wake up call. Big to do. I mean, there's been so many things that have been launched at Trump, and yet this looks like to be a sticking point for the as far as the judge and everything going against Trump University. The thing that is in the news right now. What's your reaction to it? What is your? It's been a while since we've had you on, so.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the primaries a little bit, but with the
Okay. Talk about the primaries.
Okay, whatever. So with the primaries, I've been looking at some polls. It is really hard to find polls in New Mexico, North Dakota.
Just go out to Veneta and create your own.
Yeah.
It's really easy to find polls in California and New Jersey, and from the looks of it, it looks like Hillary's going to pull away with a win in California, and it's going to be close in California, but I think she'll end up winning. But it's going to be pretty large win for her in New Jersey. But I think there's definitely, no matter what happens today, she definitely gets the nomination.
Okay,
Or
are you
gets no
talking? Are you
chance.
talking about when you say that she's going to win in California? You're talking a popular vote, or are you going to talk about the vote plus the superdelegates?
She's going to win. I don't know, maybe both. I think she's going to win, like, the vote.
You think she's going to win it fair and
yes.
square, as opposed to just losing
Yep.
and still getting the majority through the superdelegates?
I think she'll get probably around 3% more than Bernie, but I think it will be too close to call for a while. And then everyone knows on the Republican side who's going to win every state. Not really surprising. And in most of the states, 70 or 60% are going to vote is going to be Trump's amount because of early voting, or some people that are stubborn and won't vote for him still.
All right, going back to Rob's initial question about the judge. So go ahead.
So
what do you think?
How he's
think,
saying
Captain?
that is not fair. That is really not fair. So you're a person who wants to build a wall, and that judge is a person that would be a lawyer for illegals, really? So the judge that would be holding the Trump University case and stuff like that would be biased to him. That shouldn't be allowed. They should get another judge. That's what I think about that.
So you think they should recuse the judge?
Yeah, this is not okay.
So you don't think that there's any possibility that the judge could actually be objective? I mean, isn't that what a judge is supposed to be? Is objective under all circumstances? I mean, it's not as though that he came here illegally.
I don't think it will bother it too much, but he definitely will have some bias with it, and that will affect the case. It won't.
How do you know?
Really, because he's like of Hispanic descent, and he's helping those illegals and stuff, and he's a lawyer for illegal immigrants, and Trump is a person that is way against illegal immigration, so. And he's already like. But I think the case will end with like Trump winning. He could already have ended it by now. But
how do you think it's going to affect him as far as the campaign goes, though?
Very little. I have a neighbor that I asked about that, and that was one of the big issues that she was saying about that. Well, the Trump University case, don't get me started with that. And then, like, him not being the best with women and stuff, but I don't think it will affect him very much.
So your neighborhood must be a real interesting place. Oh, here comes Tommy again with one of his impertinent questions. Is that the way they cut it? It's like, Tommy, I have to go in and fix a roast.
I've only asked one of my neighbors, and we only really know two. But there's a person next door that not really come over as much as the people across the street have, so I've not been able to ask everyone. But yeah, that would be what the people across the street think.
Is that by design? That they don't come over?
I've not really met them yet, so they don't know about me quite yet. They just know my
know
parents.
about you.
Why don't you just go over and knock on the door and introduce yourself?
I've never thought about that. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I mean, okay, so this summer, maybe you could put some coin in the bank by grabbing the lawnmower and walking over there and going, can I mow your lawn? And that way you can get to know them and get some money along the same lines.
And then after a while, can I ask you this political question?
Yeah, there you go. So you get paid for polling. There's the thing there. If you're going to do polling, you need to get paid for it. So you mow their lawn, they pay you, and then as part of it, you get to ask them
Maybe
a
we
question.
could go around, walking around Valley River or something with you, interviewing people and asking them that question. We could have our own poll, stepdad and stepson.
Would you like to do that?
Yes, I would. Through the summer, that would keep me occupied. And maybe my parents wouldn't send me to camps.
Tom, if you're listening, your son does not want to go to camp. Yeah, we can go walk around and do a poll.
How many?
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
How many camps are you being sent to? I mean, it's like the whole summer.
Make it sound like prison camp.
I really don't know. It's just like, we're going to send you this camp, and we're going to send you that camp, and we're going to give you bus tickets so you could go to
You're taking
places.
the bus there?
I don't know. I really just like they just
They're
talk
putting
about
him on
that.
a Greyhound and sending him to out of state. It's what it sounds like. I have to ask you a quick
I'm
question.
scared for my life.
Totally off the subject. So yesterday was a very specific anniversary. You know what the anniversary was?
Yes, I do.
All right. What was the anniversary?
D-Day.
Okay. And as
Also my
part of
sister's birthday.
and as part of that, what did you spend your day doing
So
yesterday?
I had my tablet and me and my brother take turns, and he wasn't really happy about this, but I watched an hour and 27-minute long documentary about D-Day.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched that a thing like that probably every year, but it's usually on the History Channel.
Yeah.
But I looked on the History Channel. I was like, what is going on? There was just like this barbarian show and nothing else on. So I had to go to my tablet and
Watch a thing about D-Day.
Yep.
Have they said anything at your school? At any point during your educational history, has D-Day even come up?
No, I've never heard the word D-Day come up at all.
Have they talked about
no
World War
history.
II at all?
Yeah, we read a book about World War II, but it was really focusing on the Italians. Yeah, I mentioned the Americans once or twice, but they don't really teach about.
Oh, it focused on the Italians. Oh, that's
And then
nice.
in math-
the ones the team, one of the teams that lost.
Yeah, then in math we're learning about global warming.
Oh, really?
Oh, compare the temperatures from this year to the temperatures this year.
Yeah.
Did you say you said in math?
Yeah, math. Because Common Core.
Oh, well,
Is the climate getting hotter? And my teacher separated us. If you think it's just a ton of tree huggers, go to that side. If you think it's really happening, go to that side. I was the only one on the tree hugger side.
And so, did they excoriate you? Did they make fun of you? Did they try to browbeat you?
No, there's a couple people when I got to my table like, oh, why were you over there? And it's like, because there's plenty of facts that show that it's not, and that the world has had climate change, like, more than this, the Ice Age. Before humans are around, the CO2 in the world was way higher than it is now, and there were no air conditioners, there were no cars. It was just the world does that. And they're trying to come up with an excuse to control people.
And that didn't go over well?
No, not at all.
All right, we got to let you get to your class.
Mm-hmm.
You got school.
You'll have to come back. I have a portable microphone.
Tommy, the 12-year-old,
and a recorder. You and I this summer we're going to the VRC.
I look forward to that.
All right. Talk to you later, man. Okay, so changing the subject. The subject is blood on the carpet. You have blood on the carpet? We actually have a coworker who has blood on their carpet. And believe it or not, this type of stains that you find in your carpet, you think there's no way this is coming up. Zero res. can actually take care of it for you. Whether you're talking about pet stains, whether you're talking about just mud, grime, etc., Zero Res takes care of it, and they do it without chemicals. All right? So one of the things, I mean, if you're one of those folks that has a sensitivity towards chemicals, you don't have to worry about dealing with that because they don't use any chemicals. It's literally water that's gone through an electrolysis process, and it sort of changes the pH of the water, allows it to lift those stains, and then of course it's extracted or literally vacuumed out of the carpet. Find out why Zero Res is going to be better for you and better for your family by going online at ZeroResEugene.com or call them 998-0998-ZERO for Zero Res.
The Eugene Symphony Guild Garden Tour is coming Saturday, June 12th. This self-guided tour features 6 gardens with live music at every stop. Proudly sponsored by Jerry's and benefiting the Eugene Symphony. For ticket information, go to eugenesymphonyguild.org.
The best real estate market in a decade. Less homes for sale, coupled with low interest rates, get you the top dollar for your house in today's market.
So if you have to sell so that you can buy and you don't want to be without a place, you need to call Eric and Jeanette Harpole with Keller Williams Realty. Really, they're expert negotiators. They specialize in working with their clients that need to sell so they can buy their next home. And if you want to sell within your time frame and get the most money possible, these are the folks.
Obviously, you know that not all agents are the same. In fact, Eric, Jeanette, and their team outsell all other agents in Lane County. The reason? Better marketing, top-notch negotiating, their exclusive enhanced listing program, and unlike other agents, they offer flexible commissions. Hey, if you're not happy, fire them. You are in control.
You can get free information about selling your house this spring or summer. Give them a call, 541-286-3030. That's 541-286-3030. Or just go to harpolehomes.com in Lane or Douglas County.
8 o'clock at News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield, USA.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. Donald Trump facing more criticism from fellow Republicans for claiming the judge overseeing the Trump University fraud case may be biased because of his Mexican heritage.
I just fundamentally disagree with that. I think it's wrong.
That's House Speaker Paul Ryan. Fox's Rachel Sutherland has more live from Washington.
Dave, Speaker Ryan says he disavows Trump's comments, calling them
indefensible.
He made the remarks at a D.C. apartment complex where he was unveiling Republican anti-poverty proposals. Still, Speaker Ryan stood by Trump as the presumptive GOP presidential nominee.
I believe that we are far better off advancing these policies, getting them in law with his candidacy than we clearly are with the Hillary Clinton candidacy.
Speaker Ryan says he has discussed the A Better Way proposals with Trump. House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi criticized the initiatives, calling them the wrong way. Dave?
Rachel, Democrats are voting or caucusing in the last 6 states this primary season.
We're going to fight hard for every single vote.
Hillary Clinton not declaring victory after the AP reported she now has enough delegates to win the race.
The campaign has said that all this news of clinching the nomination is just a little bit premature. She, again, does not want her folks to stay home and say, well, we've won it, we don't need to get out and vote, because that could give wind to Sanders' sails.
Fox's Leland Vittert in Santa Monica. Bernie Sanders not giving up, hoping to win California's primary today.
There's nothing to concede. Secretary Clinton will not have the requisite number of pledged delegates.
He's hoping to get superdelegates to switch to him at the Democrat convention. 4 people are now in custody in Turkey, believed connected to today's bus bombing during rush hour in Istanbul. That bus was full of riot police. 7 officers were killed along with 4 civilians. Fast-moving tropical storm Colin is now raining down on the North Carolina Outer Banks after leaving some flooding in its wake in Florida and minor damage and power outages. On Wall Street, the Dow's up 65 points. Earlier, it was up higher than that and crossed over 18,000. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
This tip of the week brought to you by Neurospine Institute.
About 2% of the population has a condition known as scoliosis, or curvature of the spine, with the vast majority of cases occurring in children. Some schools sponsor scoliosis screenings, but parents can watch for symptoms such as uneven shoulder or waist, prominent shoulder blades, or leaning to one side. Detection and treatment are the best ways to prevent an existing problem from getting worse. The specialists at Neurospine Institute can properly diagnose scoliosis and determine the best treatment options for your child.
Are you living with chronic pain? The specialists at Neurospine Institute can diagnose the problem and develop a personalized treatment plan to address your symptoms. Their comprehensive services include clinical and surgical procedures, sports medicine, physical therapy, medical imaging, and pain management. Neurospine Institute's medical professionals will work closely with your primary care or referring physician to ensure that you receive the best care and treatment. They serve all of Western Oregon with 2 locations, the main campus in Eugene and their Roseburg Clinic. Visit neurospinellc.com today and get your life back.
It's June, and some American kids are already on summer break. Others are still in school or skipping it. There's new information out on absenteeism. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
According to a new report from the Education Department, 6.5 million students nationwide were chronically absent in the 2013 to 14 school year. That's more than 1 out of every 10 students missing at least 3 full weeks of school. The rates were even higher for high school students. More than 3 million were chronically absent, nearly 1 in 5 high school students. It's the first time the department has collected student absenteeism data. Meanwhile, the same report found a significant drop in school suspensions for K through 12 students, down nearly 20% from the previous reporting period. Dave?
John, Washington, D.C. will soon join other cities and California raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour. The city council will vote today, expected to pass the plan to increase the rate to $15 by 2020. D.C.'s Democratic mayor says she will sign it. A judge in California is taking a lot of heat for a lenient sentence given to a college student who sexually assaulted an unconscious woman.
Santa Clara, California judge Aaron Persky is facing calls for his removal from the bench after giving Brock Allen Turner a 6-month sentence for sexual assault, then saying, quote, jail would have a severe impact on Turner. Persky said he was following sentencing recommendations. Turner, a 20-year-old Stanford University swimmer, was convicted of 3 felony counts of assault and attempted rape. He must also register as a sex offender. Turner's father has come under fire on social media for saying the sentence was, quote, a steep price to pay for 20 minutes of action out of his 20-plus years of life. The judge is barred from speaking about the case because Turner is appealing the sentence. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Price of oil today moving up. It's right around $50 a barrel as the Dow approaches 18,000 again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
News Radio 1120 KPNW. Tuesday, sunshine with a little bit of cloud cover in the latter part. High of about 90 degrees, partly cloudy, and 55 overnight. And then 70 for the top temp and a 20% chance of rain for your Wednesday. And that's kind of how the week plays out as we get into the first full week of June. Getting ready for summer. All right, coming up, we got Julia from Lucky Paws. Also going to talk with a president, Fred Banks of the Willamette Valley Youth Football and Cheer Program. Used to be Pop Warner. They have changed. We'll find out about all the different alterations of youth football and cheer here in the state of Oregon. It looks like the situation on Highway 99 just north of Cresswell has been resolved, and everything else, except for the usual congestion, all the snafu is pretty much looking good. So if you see anything that flies in the face of that statement, let us know and we'll pass it on to the other 14. News coming up.
Yeah, we'll have these stories in just a matter of moments. We will tell you about a settlement in a case dealing with a Eugene motorcyclist and the police department. Actually, the Oregon State Police. We'll take a look at that. We'll also take a look at Cascadia Rising. It's happening today and tomorrow and the day after. And we'll tell you how Lane County is actually getting involved in that. And some fires burning over in eastern Oregon. And the Oregon Department of Forestry and the BLM are watching you when you go to the forest. They've got some tips on what not to do. Those stories and more coming up, brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones here on KPNW. Some people avoid gluten because they have to. Others avoid it because they want to. At Burrito Amigos, they say either way, they can help deglutify your menu. For instance, they have taco salad. The best part is you can build it yourself with beans, your favorite meat, lettuce, tomatoes, cilantro, cheese, tasty guacamole, and sour cream on a bed of, yes, gluten-free corn tortilla chips. Keep in mind, Burrito Amigos large large taco salad should have wheels and a 6-cylinder engine with a granny gear because it's so big. Now, if you're catering something for work, a school, or club, just order the taco salad and you don't have to worry about figuring out a gluten-free menu or even ask if anyone requires a gluten-free meal. One thing that should also be mentioned, Burrito Amigos taco salads taste great. If you're going meat-free, Burrito Amigos has a vegetarian menu that's more extensive than most sit-down restaurants. From tofu burritos to the bueno no cheese burrito, Burrito Amigos adds more to their menu for people who need to leave things out of theirs. Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones in Eugene and Springfield.
I'm Jeremy. And I'm Chris with Home Comfort. When we say the one to call, the one means no matter what the problem. From security lighting, generator systems, panel changeouts, service upgrades, with technicians available 24/7.
Or HVAC, from routine cleanings to breakdowns. Home Comfort's locally supported by Mitsubishi Electric. So their Mitsubishi Electric factory-trained technicians will ready your house for any season.
Make one call to 541-345-2838.
Home Comfort, the one to call.
Hi, Mike here with some info on West Eugene. Did you know there are over 400 businesses on West 6th, 7th, and 11th? Yeah, 400. And over 20 of them are all about hair. You'll find salons, spas, and barbershops. So why wait for that trim or a well-deserved makeover? Oh yeah, I know, I'm starting to look a little bit shaggy here. Time to make that appointment. And I'll look for you when you're down along West 6th, 7th, and 11th in Eugene. Go West, hairy people. Go West.
Now, this morning's wake-up call with the latest news from the Northwest and your neighborhood on News Radio 1120, KPNW.
This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed, locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. Well, Oregonians in November will vote on the largest tax increase in the state's history. The Oregon Secretary of State's office says supporters of Initiative Petition 28 have gathered enough signatures to qualify it for the ballot. The measure, the subject of a December, the measure would add 2.5% tax on the top line sales or gross receipts of companies with more than $25 million in Oregon sales. Oregon's Legislative Revenue Office estimates it would generate $6.1 billion in new state revenue in the 2017 through 19 two-year state budget, making it the largest single tax increase in state history. Expect the battle to rage. Portland schools aren't the only ones with lead in the water. The Eugene 4J School District also found elevated lead levels at Sheldon High, Kennedy, and Roosevelt Middle Schools, along with the district's education center. And they found it in late March. That's according to a letter sent out last night. The district says it's addressed the plumbing fixtures in question at the time, although a new single issue was discovered in a faucet at Roosevelt again on Monday. While the district says it has addressed the issue, they say they still plan to distribute bottled water at those 4 buildings starting today, which begs the question, why didn't they start passing out bottled water 2 months ago? According to the district, the facility's workers didn't inform their higher-ups about the elevated levels last week. The district intends to do more complete testing of the school district's schools over the summer break. A Eugene woman who sued her adoptive parents after disclosing that her father sexually abused her has agreed to settle the civil case. According to documents filed in Lane County Circuit Court, the case has now been officially settled, even though details of the agreement are being held confidential. The victim sued her adopted father. If you read the billboards, he was formerly the most beloved insurance agent in Eugene, Rick Jackson. She sued Jackson after she filed criminal charges for child sex abuse. The 61-year-old insurance agent and former church pastor pleaded guilty in April and was sentenced to 15 years in prison. After his arrest, the victim's father divorced his wife, Evelyn, and then transferred his then ex-wife his interest in real estate properties with a combined value of over $1.5 million. The victim claimed the property transfer was done simply to defraud her. The Eugene Civic Alliance has hired Eugene-based Chambers Construction to build a sports and entertainment venue on the property once home to Civic Stadium. The Alliance plans to release a new rendering of the project, its estimated cost, and how much the Alliance has raised so far through donors when all of the work or preliminary work is complete in late summer or early fall. Architectural firm Skylabs in Robinson-Sherwood are completing work on the conceptual design for the project, which, according to Derek Johnson, director of the Capital Campaign for Civic Alliance, is a pretty big project.
Basketball gyms, offices, storage, that kind of stuff. We hope to build a synthetic field for everything from pro-level soccer to rugby, ultimate frisbee, high school football, anything else that wants to use the field. And we want to build a stadium along Willamette Street there where the old stadium was before it burned down about a year ago.
The timeline is still somewhat open.
Breaking ground within 18 months, and we'll build it out from there.
The process wouldn't be happening if 4 boys hadn't burned Civic to the ground last summer. The organization had raised $4.1 million to purchase the property. The Alliance has received nearly $2.7 million from an insurance policy, but it continues to negotiate with the insurer to receive the $3 million maximum under the policy. Well, the state has given up its appeal of a federal civil lawsuit over an Oregon State police captain who kicked a Eugene motorcyclist in the chest during a traffic stop in 2012. The suit was brought by Justin Wilkins after a videotaped encounter with Captain Rob Edwards. Edwards rammed Wilkins' motorcycle during the stop, then kicked Wilkins in the chest, breaking Wilkins' clavicle and fracturing a rib along with other injuries. Wilkins was awarded a total of $517,000, of which he'll receive $181,000. The rest goes to pay attorney fees and court costs. The state asked the Ninth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to grant the state's motion to dismiss. The court obliged, dismissing the appeal on Friday. Emergency responders throughout the Northwest are going to be put to the test this week. Starts today. Brad Ford reports on the Cascadia Rising earthquake drill.
The scenario for this drill is based on the big one that geologists warn will hit in the next 50 years.
The scenario basically depicts a 9.0 earthquake along the Cascadia subduction zone.
Andrew Phelps, director of the Oregon Office of Emergency Management, says the quake will knock down bridges, buildings, and cause a 50-foot tsunami. All communications will be gone, so they'll replicate that in the drill.
They're going to rely almost exclusively for the first part of the exercise on amateur radio communications.
Police, fire, hospitals, governments in Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and British Columbia will take part in this drill. The goal is to find what goes wrong, what they didn't plan for, and how they can improve their response when the quake does hit. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
The Lane County Sheriff's Office of Emergency Management is also taking part in the Cascadia Rising event with a 3-day exercise that starts today and goes through the 9th.
We're going to gather together and work through the scenario from beginning to end, mostly focusing on operational communications and the ability to effectively respond to the impacts of a disaster of this magnitude.
A number of agencies from Lane County will be involved. Sergeant Carrie Carver with the Lane County Sheriff's Office says they haven't figured out how much the 3-day exercise is going to cost the county taxpayers, but they say the practice is important.
The more we practice, the better we get at it. So when a situation actually occurs, it becomes a seamless flowing process.
Functional exercises are used to test and evaluate the capability of a jurisdiction to respond to a simulated emergency. Don't mistake it for a full-scale exercise, which includes all of the above, plus emergency response elements. The city of Mosier lifted its boil water advisory Monday as work crews continued to remove oil from the tanker cars that derailed last Friday. Water sample tests showed that the water from a backup well now being used is safe to drink. As a result, the city lifted the boil water advisory for all residents, with the exception of 2 homes. Response crews continue to transfer oil off to the derailed tanker cars and stage for transport through the Dalles. Union Pacific says it's also identified a preliminary cause of the crash, saying a bolt that fastens the rail to the railroad ties may have been at fault, but they also say a final determination of the cause has not been made. Shifting winds are compromising efforts to contain a new lightning-sparked wildfire that has scorched 400 acres about 20 miles northeast of Chiloquin on the Fremont-Wenema National Forest. The draw fire has grown to an estimated 400 acres. According to Jim Hampton, fire management officer for the Chiloquin Ranger District, it started in a steep draw and moved quickly uphill into thick lodgepole and ponderosa pine. Meanwhile, in eastern Oregon, the lightning storm Sunday night ignited a pair of fires on BLM's Vail District, including one fire that grew to well over 20,000 acres. The smaller of the two BLM fires was called the Palomino Hills Fire. It still sits at about 50 acres. The larger fire, the Owyhee Canyon Fire, is located 38 miles southwest of Jordan Valley. It's estimated at 23,000 acres and growing. Well, as the weather dries out, the Forest Service and the BLM are watching for people using fireworks and exploding targets on federal land. Brad Ford has more.
Exploding targets add a new element to practicing with a gun.
Rather than shooting at a standard paper target, they shoot at a target that explodes.
Tracy Weaver with the U.S. Forest Service says when conditions are dry, both exploding targets and fireworks can quickly start a wildfire.
April ended up being the warmest April on record for us in the Pacific Northwest, so things are definitely drying out.
And if you're caught, the sentence is stiff.
They're up to $1,000 and up to a year in jail.
And if you start a wildfire, you can end up paying for the cost to fight it. Brad Ford, News Radio 1120, KPNW.
Clean Water Oregon is calling on Governor Brown, House Speaker Tina Kotek, and Senate President Peter Courtney to respond to plans announced last week by Oregon Health Authority's State Dental Director Bruce Austin to increase statewide water fluoridation from 23% to 80% by 2019. Now, the rub is the goal can only be practically achieved through a legislative bill that would essentially, through a legislative bill, overturn voter-enacted ordinances across the state against water fluoridation in local municipalities. That includes Eugene. Clean Water Oregon called on the three to state they would not support legislation that would overturn Democratic votes against water fluoridation. For the record, so far, none of the three has done that. Benton County Commissioner Annabelle Yarmio has been arraigned on a drunken driving charge. The longtime commissioner pleaded not guilty Monday, but told a judge through her attorney that she plans to enter a diversion program. Okay, not guilty, but entering diversion. Check. A judge scheduled a Friday hearing to decide whether to let Yaramillo plead guilty and enter the program. Yaramillo was pulled over while returning home from a campaign fundraiser April 26th. Philomath Police said the commissioner registered a blood alcohol level above the legal limit. They have yet to release how much above the legal limit, although, according to police reports, Yaramillo was all over the road, including going over a lane divider. Diversion agreements are a common way of resolving first offense Dewey cases in Oregon. If Yaramillo fulfills the terms of the agreement, the charge would be dismissed and she would not have a conviction on her record, which is convenient if you're seeking a fifth term in office, which she is. Bats are in danger of a disease called white nose syndrome, and there are steps you can take while enjoying the outdoors to keep the disease from spreading and, well, killing bats. Brad Ford has more.
White nose syndrome has killed 6 million bats since 2006. A case was detected in Washington state last March. You can spread it by walking in a cave or other structure where bats live.
There are many abandoned mines and abandoned buildings and structures on public lands, so we urge people to think about those as well.
Greg Shine with the BLM says this time of year bats are especially vulnerable.
Bats are in a very delicate stage in their life cycle in the spring.
You also don't want to handle bats because they can carry rabies. If you find a dead bat, contact the State Fish and Wildlife Department. Brad Ford, KPNW.
This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
On News Radio 1120, KPNW.
So I guess when it comes right down to it, Oregon golfer Aaron Wise can flat out play golf. After being crowned the NC2A champion and helping the team get another title, Wise took his game to a U.S. Open qualifier in Vancouver yesterday and won it. Adorned now in Callaway attire, his new client. Wise was 1 over after 9, but got his game going, birdieing 7 of the last 9 holes to finish 5 under 67. Now 9 days away, he'll be at Oakmont as an entrant to the U.S. Open. Former Duck Daniel Mirnicki had to withdraw since his clubs didn't arrive in time. Couldn't he even give it a shot with some rentals? After Churchill won the state title over the weekend, Lancer pitcher Emma Jevic was named the 5A State Pitcher of the Year. Coach Eric Lebe named the 5A Coach of the Year. Lauren Burke was named the Player of the Year. She'll be playing for Oregon in 2 years as she's only a junior. Oregon didn't make it to the softball World Series, but Oklahoma did, and they're a win away from winning their 3rd national championship. They took Game 1 last night, 3-2 over Auburn. Game 2 tonight. NBA, San Antonio Spurs, LaMarcus Aldridge won't be on the U.S. team's roster for the Olympics because of a finger injury. Aldridge will be on a list of no-shows that include Steph Curry, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, and Anthony Davis. How will they ever win a game? Could open the door for Blazer Damian Lillard. And former UFC fighter and MMA star Kimbo Slice died from an undisclosed cause. No foul play was suspected. Kimbo last fought in February, gained fame after a video of him in action went viral, and leaves a fiancé and 6 kids. Kimbo Slice was only 42. Wake Up Call Sports brought to you by Max Muscle. Don't get sold. Get educated by a certified nutritionist. On Franklin, across from Market of Choice. News time, 8:23.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out the door in the next few minutes, we've got partly cloudy skies. Temps right now in the mid-50s to a couple of low 60s with light winds out of the north at 5 to 10. We do have a little bit of light hazy fog that'll burn off over the next couple of hours. By this afternoon, late in the afternoon, we'll see mostly sunny skies return, but this is probably the last day of mostly sunny as the high pressure that gave us the intense temperatures and sunshine has pulled away. We're now tracking a couple of weak storm systems with strong cold fronts set to knock the highs back into the 60s by the end of the week. But for today, this afternoon highs will be in the mid-80s to a couple of low 90s. We should be able to avoid the triple digits as a surface thermal low that helped create those intense temperatures is now shifted east into the Cascades. We will see winds stay northwest at 5 to 10, and there's about a 30% chance of showers every day starting Wednesday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation in the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a great day out there.
Ramjack leads the way in foundation repair. Protect your investment. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com. Check out our exceptional online reviews, then choose Ramjack.
CCB 146906.
For the all-new John Deere riding mowers, tractors, and side-by-sides, think Ramsey Waite.
Make treks to Ramsey Waite for John Deere lawn tractors and zero-turn mowers.
There's nothing like a John Deere Gator utility vehicle. From hardworking and trail-ready to the ultimate in work capability. Get into a Gator now at Ramsey Waite.
Don't just dream about it, wait for it.
Ramsey Waite.
Open Monday through Saturday. Franklin Boulevard, Glenwood. Online at RamseyWaite.com.
Join Max Muscle for our 5-year anniversary this Saturday. Meet 4-time Mr. Olympian Jay Cutler and former Duck and NFL star Jeff Mayle. Great food from Qdoba, tons of in-store specials and giveaways. Max Muscle of Eugene, Franklin Boulevard, across from the Market of Choice.
Shiloh Inn's Affordable Excellence. Welcome to Shiloh Inn's 4-star accommodations at 2-star affordable prices. I'm Mark Hemstreet, owner of Shiloh Inns. I personally invite you to enjoy Shiloh Inn's deluxe smoke-free suites, then relax and enjoy our spacious pools and spas with steam and sauna rooms and fully equipped fitness centers. And Shiloh's 4-star treatment is even more affordable with more free amenities than most other hotel chains, like free high-speed internet to a free continental delicious breakfast or full hot breakfast at most Shiloh Inns. Even the kids stay free, and smoke-free Shiloh Inns are all dog-friendly. That's what we mean by 4-star accommodations at 2-star affordable prices. For reservations, call 1-800-222-2244 or visit our website at shilohins.com. Shiloh Inns, affordable excellence. American family-owned and proud of it.
If you're considering going back to school, ask yourself the following questions. Do you need the flexibility to take classes on your schedule? Do you have college credits you need transferred? Do you want to earn a quality degree from a world-renowned university? If you answered yes to any of these questions, Arizona State University is the perfect school for you. Arizona State University offers over 100 highly ranked degree programs 100% online. You'll earn the same degree as you would on campus, from wherever you are, on your schedule. Plus, ASU Online accepts most transfer credits. For information, call 1-800-709-6637. Learn for yourself why the Wall Street Journal ranks ASU 5th in the nation for producing the best qualified graduates, and why 90% of ASU grads are recruited within 90 days of graduation. Learn to grow, learn to succeed, and learn to thrive at Arizona State University. To learn more about ASU online degrees, call 1-800-709-6637. That's 1-800-709-6637.
A Budweiser, America, and Florida-Georgia line.
I still remember our first big show. Budweiser's in the air, and hearing the crowd sing our song.
That's when it really feels like America is in our hands.
And when I'm holding a nice cold Budweiser that says America on the front.
That too. Cheers.
This Bud's for you.
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Holloway in London and the Wake Up Call.
News Radio 1120, KPNW.
So here's a 4-year-old explaining why he is never getting married.
Well, because I don't want to kiss anyone.
How come?
Well, if they kiss me, they sometimes do it with spit.
So you don't like spit?
No.
No.
Makes sense. Don't get married because some of them kiss with spit. Love it. 8:28. All right, so we got Julie from Lucky Paws, who's in the middle of a project over there. What's going on?
Still trying to dry her off, but all this dirt keeps coming off of her. So I have Jasmine today, who is a very unique dog, as you saw. She looks like a pit bull when you see her walking towards you, and then the body just kind of keeps on coming because she's mixed with Basset Hound.
Wow.
So we're told. I mean, Dachshund, Basset.
Just like
Yes.
her, except red.
So we have two of them. It's the shelter was very creative with their names. It's Jazzy and Jasmine, but I guess they couldn't decide. So, but two super sweet, fun dogs, and they're well, the shelter said 7 months old. The vet thinks a little closer to 1. So, there's a few months in there, but young, puppy-like, super sweet. I mean, you can't, if you get her on the camera.
Probably the sweetest dog you've ever brought in.
Just the sweetest, yeah. I took him to PetSmart. I only got him Friday. So at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I got a call from Mark, owner of Edgewater Furniture, and he said, do you want 2 dogs? Because there were these 2 dogs that were being taken in to be euthanized, and I couldn't let him kill them, so I adopted them just to take them out of there.
Is this from California?
Right, from California. So I think they came out of Tulare. He was picking up dogs for a shelter in Portland, and so he grabbed these extra 2 just to save their lives because they were so sweet. He said he walked them around and had them out with other dogs and everything, and they're just as sweet as can be. So he brought them. So
how long did he find out how long they had been down there at the shelter without getting adopted?
I actually didn't look on their papers to see. My guess is because there were 2 of them, they were owner surrenders,
right,
and were possibly put up for adoption and not getting adopted, but actually didn't look to see how long they'd been there. But the shelters are so full right now. It's summertime and puppy season and pretty crazy. So to be a pit bull, you don't have a very good chance of getting out, even when you're a super nice one.
Now, why is that? Just because of the stereotype?
So many, and the stereotype. I mean, she's kind of funny because her face is clearly a pit bull, but then there's this long body.
She has an odd body
and
for a
these
pit bull.
short, crooked, giant feet. But I mean, we had another little dog barking and snarling and getting up in their faces. And the two of them kind of just looked at each other like, what do we do?
Didn't know how to react.
They didn't know how to react to that. So we're talking clean slate here. You've got two awesome, well-behaved, sweet-natured dogs, and it's where you take them from there. I mean,
so are you suggesting that they go as a pair?
They could go together, but individually, one is calmer than the other, so it depends on, what a person can handle. I'd love to see them go together just because they play off of each other. They're pretty funny. But, if there's a bone or something, even though they both have one, they both grab the same one and carry it in their mouths and walk together. They don't growl. Never heard them growl at each other. They don't fight over food. They'll eat out of the same bowl.
Wow.
Just
not
sweet-natured. No, just the nicest dogs. As far as house training, because I only just got them Friday night, we start off right away with crate training, just because that sets the rules and the boundaries. And you're in here, you lay in the crate, we go outside, you go to the bathroom, you get to come in and play. So it's all about reward, but I haven't let them loose in the house to know for sure. So
this dog in particular isn't the kind that you have to worry about. Oh, they're just going to be rambunctious and knock everything over. I mean, she's as gentle can be.
Together they are.
Oh, okay.
But no,
get both of them, and then
I mean, they both calm down. Right now, I laugh because I posted this on. I don't usually have the pit bulls at my house, and I took these two in, and I posted them on our fosters page, and everybody's like, "Oh, those aren't the kind of dogs you usually have," and it's just comical because I am so used to shepherds or dogs that listen and real quick with the rules. These two maul me. I can't keep them off me. They get in my face, they lick, they jump all over, and it's like, okay.
So when you say maul, you mean it's a good maul?
It's a good maul.
They're not, they're causing pain.
Together, they want to be on you and licking you, and they want to be right there all the time. But they're learning some rules because they have to. I have other animals at my house. I've had them face to face with a cat, no reaction.
No problem.
It doesn't mean anything, but with my
other
cats,
dogs, no problem.
Yeah, no other problem with other
Livestock.
dogs. Obviously these girls are newly being exposed to things, so while you're socializing, if another dog comes up and is aggressive to them, you can expect them to defend themselves, and that's where you have to be prepared just with the breed to step in.
Right.
But no, I haven't, neither one. I'd say this girl, and I believe she's Jasmine. She's kind of I don't know, it's like a light brown. I don't know what color you would call this. And then her sister Jazzy is a red. She's what you would call a red-nosed pit. But both of them, they just have gentle eyes and just sweet-natured.
She has beautiful eyes.
Yeah. And they listen really well to when I had them at PetSmart, because when we first get them, we just expose them and put them in a crate so that we could do our adoptions, and they were right there. People coming up, love kids.
Did we get a good shot of them on the stream?
Yeah.
Were you able to see her?
Yeah.
I can get her up in my lap. Come here. They're heavy.
How much? What are we talking? Adoption fee for her?
I think the adoption fee on them was $250 individually, or if somebody takes both, I believe it was $375.
Oh wow!
So we're giving you a big break to take them both because it would be fun to keep them together.
Hey,
fun for them.
They love each other. We don't usually recommend two females together, but these two girls, they're great together.
She is just so...
Yeah, this is the super mellow Jasmine. She's the super mellow, sweet dog. And Jazzy's not bad. She's just got more energy. Just a little more hyper.
A couple of walks will help that out, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, we're working on leash training together. Individually, they're easy to handle. Together, we're working on that. They're just so interested in everything. They're hilarious.
How old did you say?
7 months to a year. Yeah. I think the person who surrendered them said 7 months, but the vet said maybe closer to a year. I mean, who knows? They base it on teeth. So
I wish people that adopted pit bulls just would get it through their heads that they really need to have a permanent home.
They do.
Because there's, in reality, the problem is that if you're a renter and finding a place where you can rent or lease that's going to allow a pit bull.
Exactly.
And
is
now really difficult.
Insurance, if you tell your insurance company you're getting a dog, they're on the no list. They'll cancel your insurance. It's like
they'll cancel your insurance?
Yeah, if you tell them, don't go tell your insurance you're getting a dog. Sorry.
Wow.
My insurance guy, when I told him we were doing rescue, he plugged his ears and said, la, 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 la. Don't tell me.
If any dog?
Any dog, but very specifically, there are certain breeds that are excluded. They will not insure you. And it's ridiculous. I mean, we have insurance for Lucky Paws that has no problem insuring us. So
what other, in addition to pits, what other dogs?
Pits, German Shepherds, Rottweilers.
German Shepherds,
Dobermans,
really?
Akitas. It's those stronger breeds. Yeah.
Wow. All right, what else
they
is
want
going
you to all have poodles and
lap dogs.
Labs.
Yeah.
Anybody can have a lab.
And supposedly labs have a greater propensity to bite people than a lot of other dogs do.
Yeah,
the lists that I've seen, that more people get bit by labs than they do by other dogs.
If you start getting the field dogs, those are working dogs, which is, just like these others that are dogs that are used to having a job. And when they don't have a job, they get a little crazy. I mean, so do we all, sit around, go stir crazy. Oh, she just rolled over. She is settled in for the day.
Yeah, she is.
Sprawled out.
Nap time.
It's nap time.
Anything else with the shelter?
So this
we're talking
weekend,
about?
this Saturday, we have 16 dogs for adoption. So you want to, check them out on Pet Finder. I believe we've gotten them all listed so that people can maybe start looking now instead of coming on Saturday with 100 other people.
Is there any motivation to going on, and if you fall in love with a dog, somehow beating everybody to the choice and coming this week?
We'll work it out just so that we don't like to have the big frenzy on Saturday because it makes it hard for us trying to sit there and talk to people and figure out who's the best fit. But
so just get in touch.
Yeah, get in touch with us. Lucky Paws site on Facebook or luckypawssite.org. Any of those, you can click on the link that says adoptable dogs and go straight to our list. We've got some little ones, we've got some puppies, we've got medium-sized, big dogs, awesome pit bulls.
All right.
I guess this is a designer breed now. I'd never heard of it, but
what?
Yeah, people who know pit bulls, they say that
pit bull and basset hound.
People are starting to breed bassets and pits together. I don't get it, but
so you take a goofy dog, you take a naturally goofy dog, and you breed them with a dumb dog, and there's nothing wrong with basset hounds. I've been around a lot of basset hounds, but they are not bright.
Lazy.
They're lazy. I
yeah.
can see the basset hound in her personality. It's just like, oh, this is a comfortable place. I must lay here for a long time.
We actually had this mix from the same shelter one other time, but that puppy looked like a basset hound. Long ears with the basset color. I mean, these look like purebred pits. If people debate that there's no purebred pit, but they look like a pit face, but this long body. I mean, that's what's so funny about it.
And laying down like she is right now, even more so, like a basset.
They're funny to watch because they're clumsy. their back ends do not work well.
Well, yours wouldn't either.
When it's that long, I mean, I just picture Toy Story,
Yeah.
the dachshund on the springs. I mean, that's kind of how they are when they're playing. It's very comical.
All right. Well,
I
Julie,
love
thanks for
watching
coming in. Jasmine,
Thank
great to
you.
meet you. Let's get you a good forever home. 842 on 1120 KPNW.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. The Dow has revisited 18,000 after Monday's Fed-fueled rally. Right now, the Dow up 76 points to 17,997. The Nasdaq down a point and the S&P up 7. And oil is flirting with the $50 mark after crossing that line. Crude futures have retreated a bit. They're now up about 0.5% to just under $50. What do Barbie dolls, iPhones, and jet fuel have in common? They're all things that China is now producing and sending to other countries. It's turning a record amount of crude oil into refined products, including jet fuel for Europe and gasoline being shipped to Nicaragua and the Panama Canal. T. Rowe Price is owning up to a massive blunder it made 3 years ago and paying for it. Price is paying $194 million to clients after it opposed a management buyout of Dell, but then mistakenly voted in favor of it, which cost it the right to join other investors in suing Dell for a higher price. I'm Adrienne Mitchell, Bloomberg.
Pacific Continental Bank is proud to call the Eugene-Springfield area home for more than 40 years. As your local banker, partner, and neighbor, we are committed to the health and sustainability of your business and our community. We know it takes more than a loan or deposit to help you succeed. It takes people who know you, your business, and your community. Who says we can't be more than a bank? Pacific Continental Bank, the right bank. Learn more at therightbank.com. Member FDIC.
Built for business. In business, time is money. And business money is also money. No wonder nearly 1,000 businesses choose Comcast Business Internet over DSL from the phone company every single day. Not only is it up to 5 times faster, it's actually a better value when you go with the fastest plan. So take a minute out of your busy schedule and call Comcast Business. It will be well worth your time and your money.
Switch to Comcast Business Internet. Then add voice and TV for just $34.90 a month. And ask about our 2-year price guarantee. Call 800-501-6000 or visit ComcastBusiness.com. Comcast Business. Built for business.
Offer ends 8/31/16. Restrictions apply. Limited to one voice line and private view TV for new customers. 2-year contract required. Requires Comcast Business Internet and an additional monthly charge. Equipment, taxes, and fees, including broadcast TV fee extra. Savings claim based on cost per megabits per second. Compares Comcast 100 megabits per second and 20 megabits per second DSL downloads.
A Budweiser, America, and Florida-Georgia line.
I still remember our first big show. Budweiser's in the air and hearing the crowd sing our song.
That's when it really feels like America is in our hands.
And when I'm holding a nice cold Budweiser that says America on the front.
That too. Cheers.
This Bud's for you.
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, I'm Carl Deichler, the CEO of Beachbody, and I'm here to tell you about an amazing new way you can start losing weight for free right now. You've probably seen our workout DVDs on TV like P90X, Insanity, and 21 Day Fix. We just launched a beta trial of our new digital video platform, Beachbody On Demand. So while we're testing out this new digital video service, I'm inviting you to use it for free for 30 days. That means you can lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, even 30 pounds without paying a dime. Text the word TRIAL to 303030, and you can do 30 days of P90X, Insanity, or any of over 400 workouts for free. Now here's the catch. In return, all I ask is you let us know what you think of the service so we can make Beachbody On Demand the best fitness and weight loss site ever created. Just text TRIAL to 303030 and get started for free right now. Again, text TRIAL to 303030.
Message and data rates may apply. Membership fees apply after 30-day free trial. Cancel anytime.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. We're headed out that door in the next few minutes. We've got partly cloudy skies, a little bit of light haze fog out there, but not as thick as yesterday. Temps right now in the mid-50s to a couple of low 60s, with light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. This afternoon, we'll see the partly cloudy skies become mostly sunny, but this is probably the end of the sunshine as we're tracking multiple weak storm systems headed this way. Highs this afternoon will be back into the mid-80s with a few low 90s out there, but we should finally be able to avoid most of the area seeing any triple digits. Winds will shift northwest and go to 10 to 15 with a few gusts up to 20 late in the afternoon. We'll start to see a few isolated chances of showers starting as early as Wednesday, carrying into the weekend as two different cold front and storm systems start to approach the area. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
This is your wake-up call.
Bring it down a couple of notches, because you're a little too happy.
Holloway and Longer on News Radio 1120, KPNW.
News Radio 1120, KPNW 847. The president of the Willamette Valley Youth Football and Cheer, Fred Banks, in studio to talk about a bunch of things. Man, you've been doing this for 15 years, and it seems like, boy, if other businesses had the growth that you did and have had, there'd be no, everybody would be delving in prosperity. Welcome to the studios.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So you're talking about you have all this football going on, and yet you were a basketball guy.
Yeah, yep. I played. Still am a basketball guy. I still do some AAU basketball and coach, and but I run the youth football league. When we first started it, we just thought it was something that the community needed, and it's obviously taken off and grown since then.
And that was 2002.
2002. Yep. Okay,
so no more Pop Warner. Now say hello to the Willamette Valley Youth Football and Cheer program here. What happened? Why the? That's the first question. What happened to Pop Warner?
Nothing has changed. We are still the same league. We just had to do a name change. Pop Warner has age weight schematics, and we followed those to a degree. But we want our area wants all the kids in the same grade playing together, and it's been super successful. We've gone around to the high school coaches year after year, got the input what they want. What do they want for their feeder programs? How do you want to see us help kids play high school football? And it's the high school coaches around here are great. Every one of them. You had Dave Heiberger at Springfield, big time. Help support of the league. Lane Johnson. All the Rick Raish. All the coaches have really been supportive of our league because they know it's helping their programs out in high school. So obviously starting at 260 kids the first year, there's been a lot of countless summers. My wife. Granted, she's been with so much help in starting the league too, with all the paperwork and everything else that had to be done. So it's just evolved to something that I never thought it would be this big.
If I'm a parent of a boy who's going to play football, the answer I want to hear is, what are you doing to keep the kids safe?
Absolutely. Our coaches are mandated, and they don't like it. I coached last year and had to go through this training. It's a 3.5-hour training, online training course that you have to take with Heads Up football. We are concussion certified. Each one of our coaches has to go through a concussion certification to notify that, and we have safety meetings inside our high school areas. They have a coaching coordinator, and they'll educate all the coaches on things, drills to run, helping us be the safest we can be in tackle football.
What about equipment?
And our equipment, that's one of the things. Our league has gone out and made sure our kids have really good equipment. Some of the safest equipment you can possibly get between Shut, Rydell, those helmets, and upgraded. They're reconditioned every 2 years. That's a mandated law that they have to be. So they're certified. If there's something wrong with that helmet, it gets thrown away, and we buy a new one. So each association really goes out and puts the emphasis on safety as our first priority. There's other things, we've followed in this footsteps of, obviously you have to have grades to play football. You do in high school, and we follow the same model here in our youth football league. If you have to have passing grades to play. If you don't, we allow, progress reports, and now all this is up to date within the internal team of the thing. So, and we offer Scholastic All-Americans at the end of the year. And it's presented at Autzen Stadium when we go there for our season finale and state championships. Medford does the same thing. Medford's part of our whole organization, so they bring teams up to Eugene, and it's it's very it's a big event.
Talking to Fred Banks with the Willamette Valley Youth Football and Cheer. At what age are we starting these kids out with the football?
Kindergarten. They come out and they get to put the helmet on and run around and have fun and really
and tackle
tackle. Yeah, they get it's kind of a bear hug, but they get a tackle. Kids love it. It's 9-man football. They cut the field in half, and it's just fun. We want it fun for the kids. Enjoy even the kindergarten, first, second, and third grade. It's no scores kept. Fun. Go out. See what football's like. It gets it goes to 11-man in second and third grade, but kindergarten, first grade is 9-man, and
that's got to be like the cutest thing ever.
Oh, it is. So if you see any pictures, it's we started it I don't know, probably 7-8 years ago, and there's a lot of parents that just say, oh man, this is the best thing for our kid, and the practices, when we limit the practices for the younger kids, because last thing we want them going 5 days a week, and that's not what we're about.
No two-a-days?
No two-a-days, not allowed in our league.
What about when Pop Warner was Pop Warner? Was there cheer, or is this something that got added to Willamette Valley?
Pop Warner's always had cheer.
Okay.
We added it this year. We had a lady move in from Las Vegas who ran the cheer down there and said, hey, why don't we bring it into here? And it's exploding in the area. We didn't realize what a big call was for. We were a football league, and cheer is just, from what I'm hearing, it's just, people are registering all over the place to get on that cheer team for football. So
I imagine if you're a parent, a good place to start would be WYFC.com?
WVYFC, Willamette Valley Youth Football and Cheer.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Registration for the upcoming fall, when are we looking at?
You can go online right now. There's a phone number to call. If you have questions, it goes right to either a voicemail that goes into each high school has its own association inside our league. And so it goes right into the association president, and they'll refer it to registration or cheer or whatever, and then they'll get a call back, or they'll get an email back if they email. So it's, we're very proactive of answering questions and letting parents understand what our league is about.
So I imagine if you are interested in coaching, although it's how many volunteers did you say you had?
I think we have somewhere around 500. Based on the number of team. Well, we have 50 teams, and there's 4 each. 4 5 volunteers per team, and then you throw another board for each association at 9 and 6. I'd say somewhere around 400 to 500 volunteers.
Do you even need people to help out coaching?
Oh, absolutely. There's always we love getting a lot of people love being out with the young kids and teaching them the safe way and proper way to play football. So.
I imagine parents are responsible for some of the financial. But as far as any kind of fundraising, is there any kind of that going on?
Each association does their own fundraising, and then we as a league will do some. But overall, it's brought back to the associations, and the associations do a great job with, any kid that wants to play football in this area can play in our league. Whether if they can't afford it, we figure out a way for them to play, one way or the other. And
can I ask what a registration would cost?
It's $210, and certain areas offer discounts based on, some don't supply jerseys, so there's a discount for jerseys. Some have sponsorship, where they say, hey, we're going to pick up, we can drop your league fees to, or your registration fees to $175, whatever. But the base price is $210, and there's, like I said, there's scholarships available. Our league's been around for 15 years, and we have no kids getting turned away. Anybody that wants to play football in our league is going to play.
And cheer starts in K as well?
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
And where do you play your games?
We play all over Eugene. We have, there's so many new turf fields with the 4J. The middle schools have Madison, Kelly, Meadowview, Spencer Butte, Jefferson, and we play at the high school, North Eugene, Sheldon, Willamette, Marist, Thurston High School, Springfield High School, some of the middle schools out there.
All right, we're coming up on time. What would we miss? Anything that you need to cover? And we talked about a lot of stuff.
I think we're good. I mean, like I said, as long as people are educated and understand that we're the same league that's been around here 15 years.
All right.
That's the most important thing. Nothing's changed except a name.
Fred, thanks for coming in with the Willamette Valley Youth Football and Cheer. And that's going to do it for us. We'll see you tomorrow at 6:05.
Why compromise how you want to heat and cool your home? Resolve your heating and cooling issues the way you want by contacting Pacific Air Comfort, your local Carrier factory authorized dealer. Turn to the experts who will listen to your wants and needs for home or business. Their professional staff will listen to you, offering their good, better, and best solutions, addressing your wants and needs using quality Carrier products, making you Pacific Air comfortable. Pacific Air Comfort, quality system design, quality Carrier equipment, quality installation, and outstanding 24/7 service and repairs. Visit PacificAirComfort.com. That's PacificAirComfort.com. Or call 541-342-5300. That's 541-342-5300 to receive Pacific Air Comfort's award-winning service today.
Have you ever thought you'd like to flip houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? Are you ready to be your own boss so you can start living the good life? Hi, I'm Preston Ely. I used to be so broke. I had my electricity turned off 9 times, but I figured out a way to quit my job and find financial freedom in real estate. For a limited time, I want to send you a free copy of my smash hit selling book, How to Get Rich in Real Estate. It shows you how to copy exactly what I did so you can make money from the comfort of your own home without even doing any manual labor. I've already given away 5,000 books and they're going fast. To get one before they're gone, call 1-800-500-4309. Listen, if you're sick and tired of stressing about money, this book could change your life. It's short, fun to read, easy to understand, and awesome. To find out how to get your free book while supplies last, call 1-800-500-4309. Call 1-800-500-4309. 1-800-500-4309.
Want to see what you'd look like if you had a flatter belly? Now's your chance, because for a limited time, we're giving away free trials of New Biotics, the new discovery that flattens bloated bellies fast. But hurry and call now while we're still giving it away for free. 1-800-500-1734. Strict limit of 1 free trial per household. These free trials are reserved for anyone, male or female, who's looking for maximum belly flattening in minimum time. New Biotics is scientifically formulated with natural ingredients to flatten bloated bellies fast by cleansing pounds of rotting food and toxic sludge from your body. It even combats periodic heartburn and acid reflux. So just think how much better you'll look and feel. Want to see what you'd look like with a flatter belly? Now's your chance. But hurry, call now for details.